Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. I get mixed up on what channel I'm on sometimes. Hello and welcome. Is it Newcastle career mode? Is it not counting? It's Manchester United. It's the United Stand and it's Manchester United against AC Milan in the Europa League on a Thursday evening at 5-2-6. It is what it is. And we've got to get on with it. But it is an exciting game. They've got as many injuries as we've got, to be fair. So, and I think it's a big game. I think it is a big game. I've got to say that, of course, because we're all going to be watching it together. But I do think it is a big game. I think it has. I think Manchester United will win this game, but we are weakened, and so are they. I'm excited. I'm actually excited about this game because I like Tonali, I like Franck Kessie in their midfield, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how midfield gets on against them. I think defensively they're okay. I think offensively they're missing a lot of decent players. Çalhanoğlu, Zlatan, Rebic are big players for them. But I expect us to win. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win today, as I've said on my preview, and I do expect us to get the result. So. I'm looking forward to it in that sense. Obviously, we're going to have injuries. We haven't got Marcus Rashford as part of the team. Cavani's not part of the team, of course. Neither's Van der Beek and Pogba and Mata. So, as I said this morning, I think I'd be surprised if Diallo starts, but I certainly think he's a player that Ollie's got to give some minutes in this game because we're only an injury away from Greenwood, Martial or James, and he'd have to play him anyway. So you may as well use him. Delo should be playing against us as well. Asher, you're right on that one. We'll see how that goes. But I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued how this game's going to work out, and I'm intrigued as to how Manchester United are going to approach it. Will we? Approach it tactically. I think that's how I'm intrigued. I also want to get into some topics in relation to what has been going on today as well, because that's always interesting. As we know, there has been talk of some of you might have seen it. Ben White from Brighton is a player that Manchester United are now monitoring. Now, I put a tweet out earlier. I said I'd rather get Jimmy White because I prefer watching Jimmy White play snooker than Ben White playing at centre-back for Manchester United. I would cry if we bought Ben White. I'd back him because that's the mature thing to do, but I've got no excitement about a player like that. I mean, if you talk to me about a player that Manchester United need to bring in to Manchester United as a centre-back, Ben White's not even in my top 30. So how is that the right sort of player? I think if we go for Ben White, it screams of everything that I'm fearful of about Manchester United currently. A total lack of idea about what is a suitable Manchester United player. A total lack of ambition to try and close the gap on Manchester City. An obsession with British players. And also, ultimately, more important than anything, trying to do it on the cheap again. I just cannot, for the life of me, think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would have sat there and said, you know what, I really like Varane, I like the look of Koundé. If Koulibaly's available, I quite fancy him as well. Pau Torres is a good player, but I tell you what I want. What I really, really want, I want Ben White. So if there is any truth in that, and we actually go and get Ben White, I'd be depressed going into next season. I'd be genuinely, oh my God. Ben White and Harry Maguire, please keep Lindelof. I actually would rather keep Victor Lindelof than bring Ben White in. And I'm not saying he's a bad centre-back, but we're Manchester United. We're not Everton. We're not Leicester. We're not Southampton. And look, Leicester and Everton are doing very well at the moment. Of course they are. But we're Manchester United, and we need to do better than that. That's all I would say. Mike Farnham says, is he not a Dan James sort of player? I think he's a little bit better than that. Richard Drew says, my blood pressure is screwed because of this club. Well, yeah, I can understand what you mean by that. He can play CDM and centre-back. Yeah, but he can't play either at the top 4 level. Mate, I just... No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If we want to progress as a football club, you don't go out and buy Ben White as centre-back. You go out and you buy a top-class centre-back. Man United are thinking about doing that. There's going to be more trouble ahead, I tell you. As much as I don't like being in the Europa League, it's great to be coming up against a team like Milan. I'm confident for this one, expecting a win, but also a close game. 2-0 United is my prediction, says Joseph Tyrrell. I just want to bring something in as well, because from the show, I think it was this morning's show, it might have been last night's show, I was reading some of the comments, and a couple of people were saying, you're always saying that Ollie's overachieving, and I disagree with this. And I was like, look, you have an opinion, right? You have an opinion. That is your opinion. I would be a liar and a hypocrite, and many of you would know it, if I said that this season's not good enough. Solskjaer needs to go. I said it. I even put the tweet out today to prove it, based on the comments I was reading this morning. I've got a tweet out this morning, and I'll read it to you. Right? I'm proud to read this tweet. So I'll read you this tweet that I put out on October the 5th, the day that the transfer window closed in the summer. I said, beginning of the end for Solskjaer. This is from October the 5th, 2020. Right? There's no sneeze involved. I've just got something up my nose. Beginning of the end for Solskjaer. I want him to succeed, but he's done. No manager can succeed under this regime. They've sent him into a season worse than we ended last, and we won't get top 4. The cycle continues, revenue goes up, Glazers prosper. That was a tweet I put out on October the 5th, and I stand by that because I meant it at the time. I felt Solskjaer had been sold down the river. I felt he'd got us 3rd place. He'd been given a terrible transfer window, and he was going into a season where he was destined to fail because the team was worse than it was at the end of last season, and I didn't feel we'd get top 4, and therefore I thought he would get sacked. All right, Seb?
Yeah.
Good? You look a bit worried.
I got a biscuit.
I felt that they sent him into a season that was just unfair. So when I say I think he's overachieved, I'm dealing with myself. I'm not dealing with your opinions. I like your opinions. I like to interact with your opinions. But I'm dealing with what I said, what is true to me. I felt that when that transfer window closed back in October, to get top 4 would be amazing. Well, we're in the top 4 at the moment. And of course there are mitigating circumstances. Chelsea didn't have the season I expected. Liverpool haven't had the season they've expected. Leicester have had a good season. Spurs are coming hard. So I think that the reason I feel that Ollie's overachieved is because I actually truly believe that the team is not as strong as it was at the end of last season, that he didn't get backed, and yet here we are 2nd in the league. So, do I think it's the level it needs to be? I think this is where people get frustrated. Do I think Manchester United are where they need to be? God, no. Do I think the football's exciting? No. Do I think there's a massive amount of improvement to be made? Yes. But do I think that Solskjaer has produced more than I expected this season? Yeah, honestly, I do. I really do. What time is the kickoff? Says Michael Ryan. It kicks off at 5 to 6. So team news could be coming in any minute. Hakan is not playing for them, Hassan, and neither is Rebic, and neither is Zlatan, and Kalanoglu is not playing, as I've just said. There's a few others that are out as well. Hernandez, the left back, I think, is out as well. League team is Henderson, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Bay, Tellez, Matic, McTominay, Bruno, James, Martial, Greenwood. That's from Mohamed. I thought this team was very easy to predict, actually. Compared to Koeman and Pirlo, Ollie's a great manager, says Reece Sutherland. And Mark, how is the team not as good as it was at the end of last season, says Nat Rayleigh. Well, look, to me, that's not our best team. But if you take James out and you put Rashford in, and you take McTominay out and you put Pogba in, you've basically got the team from last year. But that's not what Ollie does this year, is he? He hasn't really had Pogba a lot this season, so he's playing McFred. Matic is not the player he was last year. For me, one of the areas I always look at when I'm building a team, whether it be coaching myself or playing FIFA or Football Manager, or I'm looking at Manchester United, or I'm looking at any team, I always look at the midfield. And the midfield, for me, is where Manchester United are so much weaker this year than they were last year. I don't think Bruno's hitting the heights he did at the end of last season. I don't think he is. Pogba's not fit. Matic is nowhere near that player. So we've got McFred and Bruno instead of a very good Matic, a very good Pogba, and a very good Bruno. So that's straight away not better. The centre-back pairing is nowhere near as good as it was last year, and is so bad that we actually need to buy a centre-back. Luke Shaw's better. Wan-Bissaka's worse. The goalkeeping situation is irrelevant because we've got 2 good goalkeepers. The front 3 is not as good as it was last season either. So team is not as good as it was last season. Now, some of that you can say, well, we've still got a lot of the same players. Yes. But also, have those players not stagnated a bit? Did we not need to bring in players that Ollie wanted? He wanted a right winger. He wanted a centre-back. He didn't get them. So there we go. Is Tonali available? Yes, he is, Commando. I'm looking forward to watching Tonali, actually. I'm a big fan of his, so watch out for Tonali in the midfield for AC Milan. And Kessie, I do like Kessie as well. I'd be interested. I don't think Fred will start. I think Matic will start this game. Why are you so confident, Mark, that we're going to win when we've got so many players out? And as you said, Matic isn't the player he was. Basically, I think the big thing that I think is going to stand out in this game, I actually think Scott McTominay might have a good game, and I think people might go, "Oh, he's arrived. He's dominated a top European side." He hasn't dominated a European side because we've not even kicked off yet. But I think where Manchester United will have the edge tonight is on physicality and fitness. This is the thing I've observed from Italian football for the last few years, that the game is not as quick, and therefore they're not as fit as what the Premier League players are. It's not played at the same tenacity, it's played at the same speed, and I think this is where we will prosper against AC Milan tonight and next week. Screw the lasers, I'll block their toilets, says Big Tony. Come on Milan, says Rabbit TKO. Ben White, I would rather have... Ben, I can't read that out. How long's Donny out for? No, we don't know. We don't know how long Donny's out for, Joshua, because the questions that get asked in the press conferences are, let's talk about Erling Haaland's Norwegian scoring record compared to Ollie. Let's ask 2 or 3 questions about that, rather than about a midfielder that we need that's hardly played this season, who was our biggest signing of the summer. Nobody asks that. Nobody asks how long he's going to be out injured for. Let's talk about irrelevant goal scoring records. Do you think Maguire has improved this season compared to last? No, trading. I think he was better last year. I think he's been reasonably good in the last month, but I think since Christmas Maguire's been better. I think the first 3-4 months of the season he wasn't very good. When he started playing with Bay, he got better, and obviously in the last few weeks he's been shielded by the McFred and fullbacks again, so he's not doing too badly at the moment. I think he'll play well tonight because I think he plays better with Eric Bailly, and obviously this is not going to be AC Milan's preferred attack because they've got so many injuries. Score predictions, Mark. I'm going for a 2-0 United, says Dylan Hanafi. I'm going 1-0 United, but I nearly did go 2-0. Supermac TV says, your tweet would have been accurate about Ollie overachieving if Liverpool and maybe Chelsea had not had bad seasons. Also saw you're on Twitch on Football Manager. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Ollie fly kicked Donny in training. And Chelsea looking at Kessie and Hakimi, apparently, says Ross Gunn. Well, there you go. Kessie was a player when he was at Atalanta. I'm pretty sure he went from Atalanta to AC Milan. And I think we were talking about Kessie. I don't know how old Kessie is now. He must be like 23, 24, 25 at a guess. But he was a player that we were talking about on this channel maybe 3 years ago when he was at Atalanta. And... We were never seriously in for him, unfortunately. But I'm interested to see what he's like, because it's all right saying these are good players, but until they play against Premier League opposition, you don't know whether they've got it in them. This must be the easiest team prediction you've ever done, Mark, says Perek. I think it is very easy. I mean, I just cannot see how it won't be that team. I can't see. I mean, maybe Wan-Bissaka should be... I mean, to be honest with you, what I would say is, and I'm not going to get angry about it, but should Axel Tuanzebe not be starting in this game? On a serious note, why is he not starting in these games? Like, what is the point in having Axel Tuanzebe at Manchester United if you're not going to start him in any games? Like, he never starts games for Manchester United. Why can he not start at right back? Why couldn't he put him at centre back with Bailly? Why do we not use Axel Tuanzebe? I do not know. I can't answer the question. Delo to start left back for Milan. 1-0 United tonight. Feeling confident, says Bly Wilding. Yeah, well, I don't rate Delo defensively, so there's a chance for Greenwood or James to get at him. Hakimi or Wan-Bissaka, says Rohan. Well, look, Hakimi on his Dortmund form was one of the best right backs in the world last season. It's always difficult when they're playing in the Serie A because it's a little bit different, as we know. You know, I think it's a good conversation. What about their keeper, Mark, says XD. Donnarumma is a good keeper. Oblak has nothing that is more special than David, says Shush Shush. Oh, you know what? I just want to say this. Why are anybody paying any attention to goalkeeping rumours? Why on earth? I just think I've got to that level now with Manchester United transfers where before I read a story, I think I'm not reading it. Like I do. I mean, I'll always bring it out on the news show because it's not me. It's not up to me to not feed it out on a news show. But I've seen a few stories this week about Manchester United wanting a goalkeeper. I've not read any of them because I'm like, there's just no sense to this at all. Right? We need a centre-back, a centre defensive midfielder and a right winger. We probably haven't got money for 2 of those, yet we desperately need all 3. Why would we spend money on a goalkeeper? Like, why would we buy a goalkeeper of the quality of an Oblak or even a Donnarumma or anybody like that when we've already got 2 very good goalkeepers and we need to get rid of one of them? We probably will bring a goalkeeper in if we sell Henderson or De Gea, but it'll be a goalkeeper like Joe Hart. It won't be Joe Hart, but it'll be that sort of a goalkeeper that is happy to sit on our... I mean, maybe Ben Foster. Somebody who can just sit on our bench, and he's happy to sit on our bench week in, week out. Dan James at left wing is worrying. Top too predictable. Maguire playing always worries me with the ball in mind. Do you really think Ollie can succeed? Tactically poor, says Noah. Lil Bertie. I mean, I think at the moment you've got to stick with Solskjaer, in my opinion. I think that there are people out there that don't want to do that, but I don't understand the frustration. I really don't understand the anger, the frustration against Solskjaer at the moment, because it's like it's like a pregnant cow that's not going to give birth for 3 months. Like, stop getting impatient and angry about the birth of the cow or the calf, like, because now is not the time. Like, you're just getting yourself frustrated and angry about nothing. He's not going to get sacked now. He's not going to get sacked in the summer, but he's definitely not going to get sacked now. So I don't know why people just keep going on and on and on about it. We get it. You don't like Solskjaer. You don't like the way he plays. You don't think he's good enough. You don't think he should be Manchester United manager. Well done. Your vocality about it is not the majority, and it is not the opinion of the club, and they're not going to listen to you. So, you know, you may as well just calmly say, I don't think he's the right man, rather than screaming and shouting about it, thinking it's going to make any difference. People will make their own mind up. I realised that a long time ago. It doesn't matter whether you've got 10 people following you on Twitter or 1 million. People will make their own mind up. And people need to make their own mind up on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And if you've decided that he's not the right manager for you, that's fine, but he ain't going to get sacked. No way. And no way should he get sacked, because this season's still got legs in it. And tonight is a big game in that season. The next week is a massive week. West Ham's a big game on Sunday night. Leicester a week on Sunday is a big game as well. And these 2 legs against AC Milan could put us into the quarterfinals of the Europa League. I was the very first subscriber to the United Stand. You weren't. Can I receive a secret small white envelope for getting the ball rolling? Much love, says Thomas Anderson. Well, you definitely weren't the first subscriber, because it was me. And good afternoon all. 2-0 and no injuries, please. Let's go, lads, says Connor Shields. Lots and lots of people going for a 2-0 win for Manchester United, which would be good. Do AC Milan present much of a threat, said somebody in the live comments there. Any team presents a threat. You can't go into any game expecting to just win a game of football, because as we saw at the weekend with Manchester United against Manchester City, some people wanted to go in. The team news is out. It literally just came out a minute ago. And it is the team. I predicted this team on the preview 2 days ago. I put it up there. It's not a leaked team. It is the team, though. So it's Henderson, Wan-Bissaka, Tellez, Maguire, Bailly, McTominay and Matic, Bruno, James, Greenwood, Martial. So it's exactly the team that we've got on the screen. So there are no surprises there at all. We can't be surprised, because it's the team that we expected to be picked. I'm just going to put a tweet out there. Smash a like on the video, by the way. The bench, yes, Diallo is on the bench. Let's have a look at the bench, actually, because it might be quite interesting, because there won't be players like there won't be anybody like Marcus Rashford on there. So Bishop and Grant, we've named 2 goalkeepers on the bench. That's always a good sign. Why the fuck are we naming 2 bench? That's a poor thing. That's a poor thing to do. Putting 2 goalkeepers on the bench because you don't want to just get someone out of the youth system, which may be different, actually. It might be difficult, actually, because of the bubbles. So we've got Bishop and Grant on the bench. Lindelof, Shaw, Twansebi, Williams, Fred, Ahmad and Shoretire. It's as I predicted. There is absolutely no creativity on that bench apart from youngsters, Ahmad and Shoretire. So if Bruno has a bad game, you're playing 90 minutes. If Bruno gets injured with bringing Shoretire or Ahmad on, he'll probably bring Fred on, to be fair. If any of our front 3 are having a bad game or get injured, it's Ahmad or Shoretire. They are literally our only attacking solutions in this game tonight. So there you go. I think the team was very easy to pick. Yeah, McLaren, Querez, Phelan of 10 years ago. Sir Alex surrounded himself with the best coaches and constantly evolved. In my opinion, Ollie needs to do the same to succeed, says Abhinav. But he's not. Yeah, but Sir Alex Ferguson was a ruthless coach, wasn't he? I don't think Ollie is going to be ruthless enough to remove people like Michael Carrick or McKenna They're his mates, aren't they? If Martial doesn't score or perform today, he needs a long spell in the under-23s until he realises how badly he's let the club down. Swap him in the summer, says Zach. Mate, he was man of the match on the weekend. Take a chill pill. Calm down. Mark, can you see something in our play that can explain why almost all our front players has underachieved this year? Yes, I can, Per Eric Klassen. I think it's very easy. I'm sure many of you could do as well. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well, but I know you say wait until May, but what's your opinion on Ollie McKenna, Carrick as a management team, says Nathan. I don't think it's experienced enough. I wouldn't say good enough because they have produced some good results. It's not experienced enough. It is definitely a work in progress. There is no doubt about that. If you appoint inexperienced coaches, you're going to get inexperienced results, aren't you? I think in general they've done really well, but at times they're very naive. Well, you're going to get that from inexperienced coaches, aren't you? As for why our the team news is out, that is the lineup. We've just spoken about it. So slow sports news from Raheem there, trying to tell everyone the team's news out. That is the actual team for tonight. Yes, it's official. Only attacking players we've got on the bench tonight are Diallo and Shoretire. The rest of them are people like Williams, Twansebi, Lindelof, Fred. So I think Per just said, why do you think Manchester United's front forwards are not scoring as many goals as they did last year? I think a lot of it's got to do with the fact that we don't have a creative midfield. I think like last season, Pogba wasn't fit all season, was he? The last after lockdown, Pogba played nearly every game. We created chances. Pogba and Bruno in the midfield with Matic. Okay, that's fine, but it's not all of the season. Pogba missed a lot of the season. However, we did play Fred and Matic for a large period of the season between probably January and the first lockdown in March. Well, Matic is more of a creative player than Fred and McTominay anyway. And he certainly knows how to get the ball forward quicker. So I think that the reason the forwards haven't scored as many goals this season as they did last season is because of McFred. I just think they basically babysit Maguire and Lindelof, and that's their first job. They're not very good at moving the ball forward quick enough for us to create as many chances. So I think that's, in my opinion, why we've not scored as many goals. The AC Milan lineup, if you want it as well. Where's that gone? There it is. We've got Donnarumma, Calabria, Tamore, Kjaer, Dalot, Krunic, Mate, Kessie, Salmakers, Leo, and Diaz. So no Tonali, which is frustrating actually. I'm frustrated by that. Yeah. I was looking forward to watching Tonali play actually. Let me just see if I can see if he's on the bench. AC Milan. Oh, they haven't put their team out yet, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. Let's have a look. Yeah, Tonali's on the bench. Rog McNally's not there either, so that's another player out for them. So Tonali's on the bench. As I said, Dalot plays Tamore, Kjaer, Calabria as the back four. Donnarumma in goal. Kessie, Meat and Krunic. Brahim Diaz, Rafael, Lau, and I can't pronounce his name, Salmakers. So, you know, I think it's a very weak AC Milan side, to be honest with you. And it's one we should be looking to dispatch. But, you know what? We'll see. You never know. If Matic has a bad game like he has done a few times, then that could make it a little bit more difficult for us. Dalot can play because the loan rules only work in English games where he can't play, says Michael Driscoll. And Rafael Lau, I rate as a very good footballer and one to watch. Mark, Portuguese and very good with the ball, says the mystery man. Well, there you go. I mean, Brahim Diaz isn't bad either, to be fair. Still mainly going for the league, aren't they? Says Seb B. And Mark, it's going to be 4-1. Screen my comment. Remember this, says Andy Dale. I'm sure we will remember that one as well. Hey, Mark, what do you think? Where will Manchester United finish in the Europa League? I genuinely think that Manchester United can win the Europa League. And I think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer senses that. And I think that's why he's taken it very serious. We saw that against Real Sociedad. And I think we'll see it again tonight. He's putting out the strongest team he can. Justin Lynch says, Mark, when analysing why Fred's passing or creative play hasn't been good, you need to look at tactical aspect, i.e. position of Scott or Matic. Positioning of Bruno and forwards under Ollie's instructions, says Justin Lynch. Yes, Justin, I think you make a good point. I do. But I also think that a lot of Fred's passes are straightforward and he misses them. So, it's not like we're asking him to hit 40-yard passes into the path of Marcus Rashford sprinting forward. We're asking him to play a 5-10-yard pass and it's awful. His passing is poor. Be interesting to see how we do tonight, because I don't personally think, I don't know what anybody else thinks, I don't really think that Matic and McTominay are a very good midfield pair. To me, they're very similar. They're very tall. They're not particularly quick. Love the channel, bro. Good insight. Do you think we can win this and the FA Cup? Says Richard Romero. I want to win the FA Cup. I do want to win the FA Cup. The FA Cup to me is it stops Man City winning the treble. What watch-alongs are you doing at the weekend? Says Ross Gunn. I haven't actually looked yet, Ross, but definitely Man United West Ham on Sunday night. And continuing with yesterday's trend, Man United have announced that Phil Jones has now been given the new role of the CDM. No need to buy one in the summer, says Beto. And Axel has played 562 minutes and Danny van der Beek has played 847 minutes. It's a joke. Also, I think we could benefit with those assistant coaches, Rene, Marik, Moritz and Volts. I'm actually going to borrow that from you, United. I'm just going to tweet it out because I think it's a really good point. I hadn't realised that. So he's played nearly 300 minutes less than Donny. So I've just tweeted it on @MarkGoldbridge. I've used it in the way I wanted to use it, but thanks for the facts. I just feel Fred has almost reached his ceiling in ability, but I feel that McTominay has a greater potential, more to his game, says the mystery man. Oh, I would agree with you on that one. I think McTominay, if I was selling one of them, it would be Fred, because Fred's is Fred 28 now? I think McTominay's 25 this summer. I mean, he's not got a lot more growth, McTominay. He's not like he's 21. I think if McTominay was 21 playing like he is, you'd think, oh my God, he might have 2 more gears to go up. I think McTominay might have a little bit more left in him. I personally don't think he's a starter in a team that wins a title, but I think he could be a very good bench option. At the moment, we have no other option though. I think with Fred, 28 years of age, I feel sorry for Fred because I think he's got a great work rate. He's got a very good tenacity. But if he was 22, you could work on a few things. But he's 28. And the worst thing about Fred is, he's always having to get his passport out to get it checked because people just don't believe he's Brazilian because he can't pass and he can't shoot, which is weird. I think we have the squad, but not sure in the later stages. Semi-final and final that Ollie has what it takes to take us over the line. Hope I'm wrong, says Aram. The problem for United will be the teams like Spurs and the teams like Arsenal. I hate to say it, but they will be. Mark, only concern is that Matic and McTominay may dilly-dally on the ball and slow us down. Passing between the lines is a must, says Michael McNeil. What I want to see tonight is Scott McTominay getting closer to Bruno. I think what I want to see from McTominay tonight... And look, you can take this now, you can clip this now, you can remember this now. If Scott McTominay has a good game tonight, I think it will be because he plays further forward. And people will say, all the McTominay haters moaning about him at the weekend, that's the real McTominay. And I will say, yeah, it is, because he's actually not sitting in front of Harry Maguire and Lindelof babysitting. He's allowed to get forward. At the weekend, he was hardly allowed to get forward at all. So it will only compound what many of us have said about McTominay for a long, long time, that he is not a centre defence midfielder. He's a box-to-box player. And when he's allowed to do that, you get more out of him, which is why he scored some important goals this season. Game will be really slow, says Ben, with Matic. Also, Kessie's a player we should be looking at, even if Pogba stays. Sell Fred, passing is basic requirement. Well, we can have a look at Kessie tonight, because he is starting for AC Milan. Delo masterclass at left-back inbound for them tonight, trying to prove Ollie wrong. I don't think he's capable, Night R7. I mean, what do people generally think of Delo? My opinion on Delo is that he has got something going forward. But defensively, I think he's suspect. I don't know what McSauce will be as a player in the future, but with the current board in 10 years' time, I will not be surprised if he becomes director of football, says Sheikh. Player coach at 25. And this game may suit Matic, expecting Milan to drop off like most Italian teams and concede the ball in and around the middle of the park, make themselves hard to pass through, says the mystery man. Well, I saw somebody taking a piss out of me last night about this, or maybe it was this morning. They were like, oh, Goldbridge thinks Matic is going to have a good game because the Italian teams are slow. Well, yes, that's basically what I said. And yes, I think Matic is too slow for the Premier League now, but we are playing La Liga football, not La Liga, Serie A. We are playing a Serie A team. And they do play slow. I've watched a lot of Serie A. I've watched it for years. And they do play slow. Scooby-Doo masterclass incoming, says Dylan Hanafi. And just tuned in, what is your opinion on the team? Good question, Alex, actually. What is everybody's opinion on the team? That is the team. It's been out for a long time now. I think Ricky will be over the moon. He's got his hat-trick of M's, M and M starting. Ricky will be the true Slim Shady because he's got Matic. I've got Matic, Marshall and James. Oh no, James hasn't got an M. MJM starting. It's Mata. No, Mata's injured, Mark. He can't play. So, it's an expected team, like Odura says. I expected that team. Look, if he picks that team and Donny's fit or Rashford's fit, then it's a bit of a shock, isn't it? But that front three was always going to start. I mean, Dan James has landed on his feet, hasn't he? Really, he's not done too badly the last few weeks, and with all the injuries, he's now starting for Manchester United on a reg. So big opportunity for Dan James. I'm not sure Dan James will do very well in this game though, because AC Milan won't play high line. So it'd be interesting to see what I expect to see a lot of Dan James playing 5-yard passes backwards to Bruno and stuff today. I'm not sure he'll be able to get into the game much if they play a deep line like I think they will. Greenwood will be interesting. Martial will be interesting because they're more intricate players. Bruno's going to be massive. What a surprise. And McTominay's got to be allowed to get forward, and Matic should just run the midfield. So that's what I would be expecting, yeah. Well, 100 away, 100 subscribers away from 1,005,000. So please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. And let me just catch up on these. If we had better players in the pivot, we would see a better Bruno, says Jack. He always has to come out of position to get the ball. I agree with you on that one, Jack. I really do. Ricky must be having the time of his life with that midfield pivot. Imagine if Mata and Van der Beek had been in there too, says Beto. Says on Flash scored, Greenwood's up front and Martial's on the left, James on the right. I presume that's wrong. Yeah, I'd presume it's wrong until the game kicks off, Ross Gunn, because this is something we used to argue about before. Formations. I'll stick with that until the game starts and then I'll change it. The mystery man, Juventus got outpressed and outran by Porto with 10 men. Italian league is slow to press. I think you called it, Mark. This could be like playing Palace where they employ a low block and frustrators, yeah. And I think they'll do that in Italy as well. I really do. I think you make a good point there. Just going back to what was said there, Ricky will be having the time of his life. I've just had a message there that he's dressed his wife up as the old baby from Dirty Dancing. He's dressed himself up as Johnny, Patrick Swayze, in a leather jacket, and he's jumping around trying to catch his wife, having the time of his life. You know the song, I had the time of my life, 'cause Martial and Matic are in the team, and Dan James, yes it's true, and I owe it all to you. So that's our strongest lineup. Football Clip says, yes, whatever, thanks. And Mark, you've clearly not seen Milan play this season. If you think they're going to sit deep, you're in for a shock, says Megan. Mate, it's nothing to do with having seen them play. It's nothing to do with having seen them play. They would be stupid to come to Manchester United and try and play a high line. If they want to do that, great. But I predict they will play a deep line. Yeah. We're an hour away from we're less than an hour away from kickoff now. Yeah, Ricky's loving it. He's got his hair all quiffed up like Johnny. Why is Diego playing? Because he can, Frankie. He's not cup tied, of course. He's on loan, and it's only the Premier League that says that you can't play if you're. Lingard won't play against us on Sunday, basically, but Delo can play tonight because it's Europa and not Premier League. Mark, get ready for the masterpiece tonight. We'll have our revenge. Nobody's going to watch it, Zane. Manchester United AC Milan is the main game in the Europa League tonight. It finishes at 8 o'clock, and then everyone's going to go and watch a film or something Thursday night, and we'll just check. We'll check the BBC website later on to see what you did. Have you ever been to Northern Ireland? Yes, I have, Daniel. Mark, can you unblock me on Twitter? I don't know why, says Ohms YTube. Well, if you're blocked, there's a reason, mate. I don't even really go on Twitter much anymore. I just post and get out. 6 starters missing for Milan, says No W. Well, how many starters are we missing, to be fair? Fred, Shaw, Lindelof, Pogba, Rashford, Cavani. 6. So I think we're in a very similar situation. I don't think Milan can talk about injuries when we've got a lot ourselves. Don't park Mystery Machine and let Scooby-Doo run loose, says Santiago Brantas. Tonali's on the bench and Delo is starting, says Will Roos. Yes. And well, yeah, De Gea is missing, but I think the goalkeeper situation we're fine. I would agree with you that De Gea is a first teamer, but he wouldn't have started in this game anyway, would he? Because it's Europa League. And I think it's great that we know. I mean, obviously Henderson would have started this game anyway, but we don't have any concerns about Dean Henderson, so I mean, I don't really see that as a problem. What I will say is, though, and I do want to bring this in, there's probably 3 things I want to say about this game. 1, I think Matic is very important, and I expect him to have a good game. 2, I expect McTominay to have a good game, because I think he will be allowed to get forward, which means he plays in his proper position and not as a babysitter. Of course, Eric Bailly is playing, so there's no need to babysit as well. We don't need to babysit our back 4 when Eric Bailly plays, but we do when Lindelof plays, and Lindelof plays in the first team games, which is a bit weird, but there you go. And then the third thing I want to see Diallo getting some game time. Because if I was Solskjaer, I would want to play Diallo for the simple reason that if we get another injury, we've got to pick Diallo. So he needs some game time. So, and I guarantee you that Greenwood, James and Martial in a game like this, one of them will not have a good game. They won't all, it's not the sort of game where all 3 of them are going to have a great game. So I want to see Diallo on for 20 minutes at least. Imagine the result if this was 2007, Milan versus our current team, we would get slapped, says Liam D. Yeah, there's a big difference, isn't there? Questions probably vetted by club for press conference. If real fans ask the correct questions, who would show the club for what it really is, possibly, says Andy and Bruno. Well, yeah, they do. They do vet the questions, of course they do, and I think they have a right to do that, because I think that if you don't do that, you're going to end up in a situation where a question could get asked that's a bit unfair. But I do think questions about Haaland's goal scoring record is a bit of a waste of a question when you could be asking about Van der Beek's injury and what it is and why he's been out so long and why he was on the bench against Chelsea and then he wasn't on it again. I mean, I can't believe nobody's... The thing I find frustrating about the media that get into the press conferences, I don't want to be in there. That's not my thing. I don't actually want to be in there. And I know Flex doesn't want to be in there. But what you do want is these specialists to actually ask questions that are relevant for us, the fans. How crap do you have to be to need to get revenge on Olympiacos? Throwing you a bone, throw Zane. You've actually got Liverpool looking at you, says Gabriel Noel. Mark, do you think we'll stick to 4-2-3-1 system going forward, even if we sign a quality CDM? Also, I'm rooting for Martial man of the match. I think we will always play a 4-3-3, Angie. But I personally think if Ollie had a proper centre defensive midfielder, we'd see more of what we saw at the end of last season and what we saw when he first came in, when we had Matic holding, Herrera box to box, Pogba more advanced, or last year Matic holding, Pogba more licensed to get forward and Bruno more advanced. I think at the moment the problem is we haven't got that player in the 2 who's allowed to get forward. Mark, your defensive duo are like Patrick Swayze from Ghost the Movie, Invisible, says Zane. Do you reckon this restructured football directing team will land a marquee signing in the summer as a statement, then fall back into average deals, says Michael McNeil? I think Manchester United's transfer window is very much like this. Expect the world and deliver nothing. I expect the world, but I don't think we'll deliver anything of note, no. Expecting Tony to have a stunner after the weekend, says Bridgesh. Yeah, I think Martial tonight's a very important player. He did play really well at the weekend, didn't he? And hopefully that gives him a bit of confidence. Look, sometimes it's a bit like Dan James, but obviously Martial's a better player than Dan James. But it's a bit like Dan James, where Dan James wasn't... I would have let Dan James go in January. I think I said get rid of Dan James in January. And here we are at the start of March, and he's a key first-team player because of injuries. And sometimes injuries are a big thing. And if you look at Martial, then, a few weeks ago, he's putting in some of the worst performances we've ever seen from him in a United shirt. He looks nowhere near the first team. Away to Chelsea, he's on the bench when Cavani's injured. So, he goes with Greenwood, James and Rashford starting and puts Martial on the bench. That's a low point. 2 weeks later, he's starting 2 games in a row. So football can change really quickly, and Martial's got to grab this opportunity. Which current Premier League team is most like the AC Milan team we played tonight, says Matthew Larney. That's a good question. I think the way I'd flip it round is say, where would AC Milan finish in the current Premier League? I'd put them probably around Leeds, Arsenal, mid-table. Yeah, I wouldn't put them any higher than that. Gabriel, when you beat City, you act like you won the league. At least our manager has won a trophy, says Zayn Miasi. Yeah, and he's still in the mid-table. For a year, he's been in mid-table. Yeah, Burnley. They're like Burnley, said somebody there. I think if Juventus were in the Premier League, they would struggle to get top 4. And people will say you're having a laugh. I'm not having a laugh. I think people overstate the quality of Serie A compared to Premier League. And I said this when Chelsea played Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid are top of La Liga. Chelsea weren't even in the top 4. And I said Chelsea will beat Atletico Madrid. And they did. And they played them off the park at times as well. You've got to put a bit of respect on the Premier League because it's a very good league. I think the only 2 teams that I'd be worried about to beat a Premier League team at the moment are PSG and Bayern Munich. And they're not really a representation of their league, are they? They're 2 clubs with massive amount of money who take the best players from that league and Europe. So I don't think that the Serie A, as much as I like Serie A, I don't think it really stands up to the quality of the Premier League at this moment in time. So no, I don't. Sorry, got to get rid of Maguire before he depreciates more, says Holmes. Yeah, no one's given us 80 million for Maguire. We've got to build a future around him, I'm afraid. Hi, Mark. You got to sell, loan, keep Martial, Greenwood, Rashford. I don't, Brownland. Thanks for the super chat. I'm not selling or loaning or any of those, but I would keep. No, I'm not doing any of that. I can't do that. It just isn't right. It's just not fair. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We're getting close to 1,005,000. We're, in fact, only 40 away. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. You're very welcome. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m. and in between with other things as well. So just sending a joke to somebody. They'll laugh at this. If I could tell you this live, you'd laugh, but then it would cause trouble. I just really couldn't do it. Even I laughed at it, so it must be funny. We'll see you in the final. Get ready for Oba and Saka, says Zayn. I mean, I think it could be an Arsenal-Man United final in the Europa League, and I wouldn't say it would be a foregone conclusion. If West Ham signed Ronaldo, would we come a clear second in the league? We just need a reliable forward, and your club is finished, says Edward White. Oh, God, we're trying to get bantered by West Ham now. See you on Sunday night when you haven't got your best player, who's our player. I agree, you were shit when you played us in the Cup as well. You were embarrassing. I agree both of us have important players out, says Brian, but I think they have our Bruno missing, Kalanoglu, and due to our short squad, only one attacker available. And Daniel says, I'd like to see the second half, Diallo to Cam, on for McTominay, Matic, Bruno deep line playmaker, allowing for more ball progression. Did you hear Michael Owen say Serie A is the second strongest league in the world last night? It was embarrassing, clueless, he cannot be serious. The trouble is, Michael Owen gets paid a lot of money to talk about football because he had a very good career. His football knowledge, I don't think he even watches it. I think he's more interested in horses. That's my honest opinion on Michael Owen. I don't think he's got very good opinions at all. I think he's a Sun headline pundit. Like, he just says things, and some football fans enjoy that. But as we know on this channel, if I came on here and said, yeah, I really think we're going to get Varane, Sancho and Haaland, you'd all disappear. You'd be like, I don't want fantasy, I want real. And football in the last 10 years especially, in relation to fans, has gone to a level of knowledge and debate and opinion that has surpassed mainstream media. They can't see that. I mean, I dread to think. I mean, fair play. I want to applaud Michael Owen. Fair play. God knows how much they're paying him on BT. They'll be paying him tens of thousands of pounds a year to go on and talk uneducated nonsense. Like, I'm sorry, it's uneducated nonsense. Serie A is the second strongest league in the world. Piss off. No chance. It's probably the second most entertaining because it is quite an entertaining league because it's close. But the quality's not the second best. Far from it. I mean, Juventus being knocked out by Porto, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised at all. No, it's not. It's a good league to watch within its own league, but outside of that, I think we're going to see tonight as well. Although, look, it wouldn't surprise me if AC Milan got a result, because anything can happen. You know, a lot of people thought Man United can't beat Man City on the weekend, and we did. Anything can happen in football. You know, Greece won the Euros in 2004, so anything can happen in football. But I mean, realistically, I think no. Mark, as Harry is a gunner, he might get Oprah to buy us, says Zayn Miasi. And hey Mark, I started a series on my channel where I post the best goals from your career mode since you asked someone to do it ages ago. Hope you enjoy, says NYYK. Well, tell me the name of the channel, mate, and I'll have a look. Bale, Kane and Son will turn David Luiz inside out and have you questioning if Arteta is really the man for the job. Stopgap FC, says Gabriel Noel. What's your opinion of my comment, Mark? Milan are coming with a really short squad, so I hope we should be fine. As I said, they only have one forward, says Brian. I think, Brian, you know what I would say about your comment is, because I think what you're basically saying is that Milan are hindered more by their injuries than Manchester United are. I think if Milan had everyone available and we had everyone available, we'd still be strong favourites. And I think with you having injuries and us having injuries, we're still strong favourites. I don't think it tips the scales either way, because I think Man United are strong favourites. Because I think we're better. Mark, give this fiver to your mods. They seem a bit keen, says Shane Nar. And they need Zlatan to win. I think, I tell you what, I would love Zlatan to have played this game. I think we all would. I think a false nine, like what Benzema did in the BBC trio, would do wonders for our attack rather than a winger. Is there someone like that in the market this summer, says Sarvesh? I don't think we'd ever play a false nine. And RVP, thank you very much for the super chat. I've just remembered. Let me just make sure it works. Yeah, it does work. Cool. Okay, so let me come back. Come back to watching. Oh, take everything real slow. Oh my God, that's not meant to be like that. I'll be in trouble with Draughty. I told you to test it. Anyway, United Stand Picks. Link is in the video description. Many of you downloaded it already. If you have downloaded it, this is a reminder to play it. 12 questions, all to do with the game tonight. It'll be things like, will Man United score in the first half? Yes or no. Will they score in the second half? Yes or no. Will Bruno get a goal? Yes or no. Will Dan James get an assist? Yes or no. There'll be 12 questions, all game related. Links in the video description to play it. If you've already downloaded it, you may as well play it. It's free to play and there is a cash prize pot of £1,000. If you haven't played it, download it and play it. We're doing it for every game. £1,000 cash prize pot until the end of the season for every game. There's a live leaderboard when it's up and running. It is free to play, but you have to be over 18 because we are giving away cash prizes. So links in the video description for that. You've got about just over half an hour to enter because you've got to enter before the game kicks off. And as I said, it's free to enter, but you must be over 18. Terms and conditions are in the video description as well. Please play responsibly because you've got to be over 18. But free to enter and £1,000 cash prize pot. Good luck with that. And a live leaderboard once the game kicks off, so you can compete against each other. A little bit of fun for you. I started this series on this channel. No, you didn't. Yeah, but I don't know what the name of that channel is. Is it called NYYK? If it's called NYYK, I can have a look. But I won't be able to do it now. NYYK goals. I'll check it after. Okay. Gabriel and Zayn are still going at it. You've been a stopgap club since Sir Alex left. You've spent $1 billion and that includes a fridge. Hi Mark, do you think we need a big performance from Telles tonight? The only other creative player in our starting lineup is Bruno, in my opinion, says Keen Jerity. Big Tony, thanks for the super chat. I mean, look, you know, when you look at that Manchester United side, if I just go back here, when you look at that United side, Eric Bailly's playing tonight, which I think makes us a different team. There are some game changers in that team. Luke Shaw, for me, is our best player, apart from Bruno Fernandes at the moment. Like, not just form player, I think he's our best player. I think he's more consistent than anybody else in that team. And he's delivering defensively and offensively. So I think he's a massive, massive player. And I'm doing Leeds-Chelsea on Saturday lunchtime. I've just remembered. It's just flashed up there. On That's Football as a watch-along. So I think but Telles isn't getting enough game time because of the brilliance of Luke Shaw. Let's be honest about that. So I think that tonight is another opportunity for Telles. He will be allowed to get forward as well. AC Milan, I think, will play deep So there you go. Bruno is a consistent player too, says Shivan. Did I not say I think he's our best player behind Bruno? Some people don't listen. They don't want to listen to me. It don't matter if Matic is slow in this game, says Said. Yeah, it should be fine. I predicted Matic should have a good game, didn't I? Didn't I not? Did I not? I did. Why is Rashford not the best player? Because I don't think he's consistent as Luke Shaw and Bruno. I think he's one of our best players, but at the moment I don't think he's our best player. I think Rashford's been a bit inconsistent, hasn't he? Flex will be on in a bit, yeah. And hey Mark, can you please define a big club? It's not really a question for now. Manchester United's a big club, AC Milan's a big club, Juventus is a big club, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, PSG, Real Madrid, Celtic, world-known football clubs are big clubs. And you get that mainly because of what you've done over the last 50 years. Within England, the big clubs are Manchester United and Liverpool because they've got the biggest history, the biggest success. And then after that, you have big clubs like Chelsea, Arsenal, because they've done well in the Premier League era and they've got big fan bases, but I wouldn't put them on the same stratosphere worldwide. I think you've got big clubs in England and you've got big clubs worldwide. I don't think Arsenal and Chelsea are big clubs worldwide, as much as Manchester United and Liverpool are. But you know what? History Channel says Servish, and I think he's right. How did you predict that we would get a result at City? I just think when Ollie's got his back up against the wall, as I've said before, you write him off at your peril. I also think a Manchester derby is any more than ever, a derby is a game where anything can happen because players tend to go up a gear. I think sometimes it's better to be the underdog in a derby if you've got good players because they'll go up a level. And also, I think Pep struggled with the way Man United play. For some reason, his style of play struggle against us. Maybe it's because we play a deep line. I don't know. Hey, Mark, if you can't answer the question from earlier, who would you rather have for United? Haaland, Mbappe or Ronaldo? Says Brownland48. Mbappe. Yeah, I'd love to bring Ronaldo back, but it would have to be Mbappe. There's an Old Trafford look. Just looks so wrong on a match day to be so empty, doesn't it? But hopefully not for much longer. Hopefully not for much longer. Hopefully we'll be back. February the 6th, 1958, look. I would take Mbappe over Haaland. Yeah, I don't care. It's all about opinion. It's all about opinion. I'd love to bring Ronaldo back. I would love to bring Ronaldo back. But if you're asking me who I would like to have at Manchester United, well, Mbappe is better than Haaland. So, yeah, I'd take Mbappe. But I'm not bothered if anybody thinks anything different. Is that not what football's all about? Hey, Mark, what do you call a big pile of cats? A meowtin, says St. Jimmy. Come on. And he loves his joke. I like that jumper, mate. Hoping for a win tonight. Got my United shirt on while applying for a police apprenticeship. Come on, United, says Jason H. Media. Well, good luck with that, mate. Thanks for all the super chats that are coming in. You can do that through the $ if you so wish. And please do subscribe. We're only about 30 away from 1,005,000 now. Hey, Mark, who would you pick, Messi or Ronaldo? Ronaldo, Rage Gaming. And when are we allowed into... I'm in school iPods on listening to Goldbridge, says Gibran. And do you think the club will hike up season tickets next season when they have full capacity back, says David Hemmings? I personally don't know what anybody else thinks, just very, very quickly. I personally don't think we will have full capacity at Old Trafford next season. I still think we will have half capacity or something like that. So... Varun says, by playing Bay sparingly for the cup games, Ollie is ensuring that Bay doesn't get a big injury that will take him out for the rest of the season. Well, I disagree, Varun. Ollie is picking Bay in the cup games because Lindelof's his preferred partner for Maguire. If you don't do that, especially if you're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you don't do that. You don't pick a player. You don't keep a player out your first team because you want to keep him fit for the rest of the season. You pick your best players. And also that's so hypocritical, Varane. Not from you, but that would be so hypocritical of Ollie to hardly use Bailly to keep him fresh for the rest of the season when we know he overplays everybody. Like, we've got 4 of the top 5 used players in the Premier League at Man United. That's Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Marcus Rashford. We've got 4 of the top 5 players for minutes played in the Premier League. So Ollie ain't got a problem about picking players and overplaying them. So he just prefers Maguire and Lindelof. Let's own it. Hi Mark, says Juan. And strongest team left in Europa apart from Arsenal, says Bijou. Well, who do 2-1, says Jack Donaghy. We don't want to concede an away goal. I think that's a really important thing that nobody's really mentioned. We don't want to be conceding an away goal tonight because that could... One thing I would say about Italian clubs, if the game is tight, you can go out on away goals. So we do need to be careful about that. But looking at who's left in the Europa League, I mean, it's quarterfinals next. You've got Ajax against Young Boys. Ajax will play a good brand of football. How good Ajax are this season? It's always very difficult with Ajax. I mean, I thought they played very well against Liverpool in the group stage. They dropped down into the Europa League. So they're a good team, Ajax, is what I'm saying. I would still say an English club would be favourites, but I think Ajax are a good team. Kiev and Villarreal, I'd always be a bit worried about a Spanish side. Man United, Milan, as we know. Slavia Prague and Rangers, can't see it. Granada and Molde, can't really see it. I mean, Granada should knock Molde out. Olympiacos and Arsenal, 50-50. Roma, Shakhtar Donetsk, again, it's an Italian side. Tottenham. So for me, if I'm absolutely honest, there's only 4 winners of this trophy. Tottenham, Arsenal, Manchester United, Ajax. They're the 4 favourites for me. Yes, you might get somebody coming off the ropes like a Villarreal, but I think it's very logical when you look at it. It's Ajax, Manchester United, Arsenal or Spurs. Well, you've got to, as a Man United fan, we've got to fancy our chances. We can't, I think if we got knocked out of this tournament, you'd be like, shit, we've just handed a trophy to Spurs or Arsenal. And I think it's going to get tougher the deeper you go into this tournament. And it's tough tonight. But I expect us to win tonight and I expect us to get through to the next round. But have no qualms about it. I think we're in a very, very strong position to go and win it. And I think we're definitely one of the favourites in it. So yeah, defo, bring it on. We're coming up for half an hour before kick-off. I'm going to get Flex on in a minute. You're sleeping on Rangers. Oh, you're sleeping on Rangers. You're sleeping on Leicester. You're sleeping on this. You're sleeping on a straw. I'm not. I'm sleeping on a nice mattress. A memory foam mattress. That's what I'm sleeping on, and I'm sleeping comfy. I'm not sleeping on bloody Rangers. Gerrard. Get out. I mean, look, Rangers, well done. Well done, Rangers, for winning the Scottish Cup. But I'm telling you now, Rangers aren't doing anything in this tournament. They're going to get knocked out very, very soon because Scottish football is on a par with the bottom half of the French league, which is also a pub league. I would love Scottish football to get back where it was when I was growing up, but it ain't there. I remember Rangers when they had people like Ali McCoist, one of the better strikers in Europe, Trevor Stephen, Gary Stevens, Mark Haitley, really good players, Gascoigne, Durant, really good players. Celtic, Henrik Larsson. I can't think of any other Celtic players over the years. Chris Sutton played up there. He was quite good. What was the lad who used to play for Bolton? He was a good player. Was it Thompson, McStay? They used to have good players, really good players in Scotland. Not anymore. Not of that level. So no, I'm not sleeping on Rangers at all. I'm wide awake with Rangers. I'm drinking coffee on Rangers. I'm wide awake to their Maxwell House football. Can't believe Board didn't prepare a proper team to top off with Haaland. Idiots, says Canna. And hi, Mark. My daughter has a teenage crush on you. Can you say hi to her, Evie in Ipswich? She doesn't know I'm watching. Says Grinder School. She'll grow up. She'll grow out of it. Knock. Who's there? Who? Bless you, says Seti. He's loving his jokes. He's loving that. Mark, do you find it worrying we're not linked to a CDM? Because I am, says Sham. It is a sham from Sham. Rangers are kicking off at 5-6, so let's see if we're sleeping on Rangers. I think on this stream we'll be laughing at Rangers. I mean, actually, I want Rangers to win. I've got nothing against Rangers, even though Gerrard manages them. I've got nothing against Rangers. I don't even. This sounds really odd because it's not the way it should be. But when it comes to Rangers and Celtic, I don't have a preference. I would like to see them both do well, but I think Rangers will get knocked out by Slavia Prague. Aren't they the team that knocked out Celtic, Leicester? So I think they might knock them down. I think they might knock them out, I think they might do. Welcome to the Members Club, Jordan Garvey. We haven't had a new member in ages. If you become a member, you can do that by clicking the join button. You get a badge next to your name. Hi, Mark. It saddens me that there aren't any fans to watch Bruno in almost Ballon d'Or form. Can he sustain this or even improve over the next season or two? I think Bruno will get better with fans. I think many players will get better with fans, Join. Robbie says, I feel like tonight will be the night for Telles, Mark. Suits continental football. I hope so. And Spiller says, hey Mark, what do you think about what Bruno said with his contract? When was the last time you shaved your beard? You'd be looking fine with that beard. I need to shave it, Spiller. I've just had such a busy day today. Did the morning show, then I've been filming Cooking with Goldbridge, which is back tomorrow, and then I was doing FIFA, and then we've basically been setting up for this. So it's a busy day when you're not playing at night and you're kicking off at 5-6. You lose a couple of hours. If we can't get more players around Bruno, he will improve. If we can get more players, says Kraz, he will improve. I just hope we win, says Hadi. Yeah. Could be a tight game. I think the most important thing is that we don't concede an away goal. That to me is the most important thing tonight. Do not concede an away goal. If we can take a clean sheet. If anyone ever watches my FIFA career modes, I always say this. I never play in the Europa League. I'm always in the Champions League. But if we can take a I'll get there in the end. If we can take a clean sheet over to Milan, then we'll be in a strong position. Jack, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. Remember, don't forget to play United Stand Picks. Free to play. Links in the video description. You've got to be over 18, but we have got £1,000 cash prize pot to give away. 12 questions, all to do with the game. There's a live leaderboard once it kicks off, and it'll be things like, will Bruno score? Will Dan James get an assist? Will we keep a clean sheet? Yes or no? Will we score in the first half? They're all questions where you get points for getting them right. There's a live leaderboard, and the people at the top win the cash prize pot. Free to enter, but you must be over 18 because we are giving cash prizes away. And the link is in the video description, as are the term conditions. And please play responsibly. If you've already downloaded it, you may as well play it because it's free to play. Flex is here. Can you hear me, mate? Can't wait to see Delo tonight. Also, how do you maintain the motivation to make so much content, says Lee Galdart. Well, I mean, Delo playing tonight, I'll ask Flex about, and the content is because we love the club, and I think that's reflected in the people who watch the content as well. So I don't feel that we're exclusive to maintaining it. Many people keep watching it as well. What is your thoughts on the team then? And also AC Milan, Delo, does he give you any concerns tonight?
It looked like it wasn't going to work out for him, and at the end of the day, he's shown that he believed in himself and he needs to play football. I think Wan-Bissaka just came and edged him out. But for me, like we're seeing, there's no cover for Wan-Bissaka whatsoever. I don't think Brandon Williams is that, and Ollie barely thinks he's that because he's hardly choosing to rest Wan-Bissaka. So yeah, I like Delo as a player. I always was questioning was he better as a right winger at the time. Maybe that's out of desperation because we just really didn't have anything going on in that area of the pitch. Plus he come on in that position, was getting at players, whipping in balls, so he kind of made us think that defensively he wasn't as good as he was going forward, and then Wan-Bissaka the other way around. But now what we can see is that Wan-Bissaka just needs that competition. You're looking at Delo at AC Milan saying, well, why can't he beat the competition? Let him fight it out. But it's whether Delo wants to do that. But yeah, so it doesn't worry me. I think it's quite good to have a look at him, actually. You know what I mean? I know he could have hurt us today, but we got to do our thing. They've got injuries, we've got injuries. In terms of our team, always look. Normally we come on here and we say, let's not talk about the Eric Bailly thing. Do you know what I mean? We're fed up of saying it, but at least he gets a start today. But I know Wally said that he doesn't want to jinx it. I read that he was saying he doesn't want to jinx it, but he's getting fitter now, and you can see in his performances, etc., etc. But I just have a feeling that if Lindelof's back wasn't like this, how much would we see of Eric Bailly? And that's not to take the shine off it. It's just looking at it in the way that I think we should, because I think the only reason why Lindelof isn't doing what Maguire's doing and playing every single game is because of this back issue.
Yeah, somebody just said
And
that actually. Do you think Ollie's using Bay sparingly to keep him fit for the rest of the season? And I said, well, ultimately he plays Rashford until he's injured. He plays Bruno every week. He picks Maguire every week. I think it's just because Lindelof, like you say, it's very obvious that Lindelof and Maguire are his first choice.
Yeah, and but to be fair, I always get a bit worried, but not worried, but I think this is a bit of a weird one, because if you're resting Lindelof, then don't put him on the bench, because he's either fit enough to play or he's not. Because if Eric Bailly pulls up with a hamstring after 4 minutes, who are you going to bring on?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think he'll bring on Tuanzebe to answer anyone who thinks Tuanzebe.
Well, I mean,
I don't think he does that.
Tuanzebe's played less minutes than Van der Beek this season.
Wow.
What's your thoughts on that?
Wow. Has he? Is that true?
He always looks good when he comes on. I thought he looked good when he came on in the midfield the other week as well.
Yeah, that was a bit of a different game. I don't really want to see him turned into a. I was saying on the shows that I've been doing, I just want specialists in our positions. I'm fed up of going.
I'd play him at right back to give Wan-Bissaka.
I'd play him at right back as cover, but again, that's because why we don't have a specialist right back. I think to get the best out of Tuanzebe, let's not try and change him into, an auxiliary right back or an auxiliary defensive midfielder. Let him play in his position, which obviously I don't think that's ever going to happen.
He's got to be finished at United, hasn't he? I mean, nobody ever mentioned
100%.
He must be finished, because if he's played less minutes than Van der Beek, who's played less minutes than me, then he's not going to. It just if you've played less minutes than Van der Beek, you're marred.
You're in trouble, and that's sad, really, because basically what we're seeing with him is like a Timothy Fosu-Mensah, not with as bigger injuries, but I'm saying the route that he's going down, and that's not nice, because I think Axel's proved on many occasions that he can play at this level. Yeah. I think the only thing he's been missing is being given a run, and obviously he's had his injury worries. But apart from that, with the team, look, the games are coming thick and fast. So Shaw out for Tellez. We know how good Shaw is. We don't need to. I don't think we need to go mad about it. We don't need to be like, why the hell is Shaw not playing? I think you do have to mix up a little bit, and he needs the rest. And one thing about bringing in Alex Tellez is we jokingly say that Alex Tellez is the signing of the season in the Premier League because he's made Luke Shaw up his game. But we can't forget of the actual reason we got Alex Tellez, which is so Luke Shaw doesn't have to play every game, and we got genuine competition there. So a good game, and in a European game as well. Alex Tellez played on the continent before he come here. European game might suit him. How AC Milan, set up. So got no worries about that. I mean, what is interesting is this real lack of attackers.
Yeah.
I mean, and we have to say lack of, because you can say, but you got Ahmad there, it's great, that means he's going to play, but we know what Ollie's thinking is with this. We know what it is.
Well, I think
my worry is,
when you play a front three, which we do, you need 6. And we went into this season with Rashford, Martial, Cavani, James and Greenwood. We never had 6. Don't talk to me about Mata being a front 3 player. So the problem is we actually have only got 2 injuries, but if we pick up another one, you've got to use people like Diallo and Shoretire.
Yeah, exactly, and that is, and it is a worry because they're young, they're untried and tested at this level. Although we want to see more of Ahmad, especially Shoretire. Obviously, we have to wait and see. We don't know yet. He's done really well at youth level, but at least Ahmad's got first team experience and Champions League experience, albeit very little. He still has a little bit of that about him. But just like when we were saying in the Crystal Palace game, and similar to the Man City game, or was it Chelsea game? I can't remember. Where we were saying that if this doesn't go the way we want it to, what options do we have? And that's a worry. That's always a worry. It's almost like that first 11, which is capable, has to go out and do the business, because I see Ollie trying to resist to use Ahmad at all costs. At all costs. Do you get what I'm saying? Unless it's really comfortable.
You spent 30.
Yeah, otherwise, exactly. And those other guys are going to have to play 90 minutes when we've got another big game against West Ham.
I think with Ahmad, it's like, I think people are being conned a bit, because they're like, oh, he's Ahmad and Shoretire. Well, Shoretire is a teenager from the youth setup, and he looks like it build-wise. Ahmad Diallo, we spent £35 million on, and he's played in the Champions League. And yet people are thinking about them, they're the same. I got some quotes from Solskjaer just ahead of this. He said, of course, there's some players coming in, Matic, Tellez, loads of experience in European football, and for us as well. And Mason takes over from Rashford. We feel it's a strong team. He says, Rashford is a fit lad. He's athletic. He recovers well, so we've not really had too much reason to rest him. He got a knock on his ankle, which made it impossible to be part of the squad, so he's injured. Hopefully he'll be back at the weekend, but we don't know. He says, I don't want to jinx it, but Bayes kept it fit for a long now. You can see his performances when he plays. He's more confident in himself, so hopefully today will prove again what a good player he is. Just rather all over there. But Edward Walters has done a super chat. I'll bring this to your attention. Scholes has just said on the telly that Fred has been playing really well lately and will be missed tonight. What is the man smoking? Nights like this take me back to beating Roma 7-1. I mean, what's your thought? I mean, somebody just said, I answered, the reason I'm letting you answer it is because somebody asked me about Michael Owen saying that the Italian league is the second strongest in the world. And I said, look, I think some of these pundits get paid lots of money and don't necessarily watch the game to the depth that we do. Just because they played the game doesn't mean they have a knowledge of...
It's because they played it. It's because they played against the old AC Milan teams. That's what it is. They still think it's Kaká, Pirlo and Inzaghi.
But, you know, Fred, I mean, what will we miss Fred tonight?
Depends how the game goes. I think when Fred doesn't play, there's always the question mark before the game's even started of will you miss him because of the way he plays. Do you know what I mean? Like he runs after people, he gives tempo to the midfield. And when he plays instead of Matic, you're always going to have that argument of, well, Matic is slow and Fred is fast. But I don't necessarily believe that you need to apply that all the time. I think there's certain games where you can get out of Matic. McTominay can do the running. And Matic is more than capable. Look, this thing of like Matic, don't get me wrong, I know he's past his best and he can't play every week, but when you use him how we've been using him, which let's face it is actually very sparingly, Matic is more than capable of playing in this game alongside McTominay. Like honestly, I do actually like the way Matic plays. I know people say he slows us down and stuff. I'm not saying he's the future, but when he does play, I am assured that he'll look after the ball. He'll be in the right position. He reads the game well. Yeah, he's going to get done for a bit of pace, so he might give the ball away at the odd time. And he can't hit a 40-yard ball like Paul Pogba can, but none of our players can do that. McTominay doesn't do it. Fred doesn't do it. So Matic is no different. So, I to answer the question, I think it's too easy just to say that, you know, Fred's definitely going to be a massive miss because Matic has played in big games. He's a very experienced player, man. And I don't mind him playing. And at least you've got Fred there. Again, if it isn't going right, then you say, right, okay, cool. You switch it up and but looking at that bench, that is really bad. You know, I'm just looking at it now. 4 defenders. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 2 goalkeepers, Fred, and then the only 2 attackers we got are Ahmad and let's face it, Shola's never going to get on. So the only other attacker we have is Ahmad.
Attack, aren't we? I mean, it's got to work. The
players
out there, and we've only got 4 really. I think McTominay has to be. I was talking about McTominay. I said I think it's funny you talk about Matic because I think Matic is quite interesting. I personally think Matic last year was one of our most important players, and I think this year he's been bloody dreadful, and I don't really know why. He's just not replicated that form, and that's why he doesn't hardly play. Because I think if Matic was like he was last year, we wouldn't be picking McFred because Matic would start. So he has dropped off, but I'm hoping that McTominay will get higher up the pitch today. Yeah,
he's got to. I keep thinking back to that interview where I think it was after the Leeds game where Ollie was like, "We need to start unleashing Scott. We need, you know, we don't want to keep taming him. Like he clearly has a knack and a skill set that enables him to play in that way." And it's about getting the best out of him. And he is actually stifled when you ask him to just sit in front of the back 4 and protect and be a defensive midfielder, in my opinion. Because 1, he's still growing into his role and we can see what his best role is. And 2, he's actually not very good at just sitting there and protecting and reading the game and sniffing out everything and then just staying there. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that's his position. I think his position is the box-to-box role, that getting forward, making that third man run, arriving late, edge of the box, getting on the end of crosses from corners or from open play. So yeah, but he needs the shackles taken off, as the expression is, because he needs to be allowed to go and make it happen. Because if you've got Matic in there, you know Matic isn't going to do that. So the onus is on him. And when Fred basically arrives in them positions we don't want him to, that needs to be McTominay today. Yeah,
definitely. And I think with I was saying this before as well. I think if McTominay was to have a good game tonight, you would get people saying, "Oh, McTominay haters sit down." But what you're getting, McTominay at the weekend, I thought was very average. Not as bad as Fred, but I thought he was very average. And I think what you get with McTominay is two very different performances that you can't compare from one week to another. I didn't think McTominay played well last week. If he plays well tonight, it doesn't make me wrong about the weekend, because the weekend is basically playing deep, protecting Maguire and Lindelof with trying to pass through. If he's getting up to the edge of the box, he wasn't doing that against Man City. So it's like asking Bruno to play centre midfield or playing number 10. They're two very different positions. Edward Walter says, with the state of our bench and the chance of Cavani leaving, is it right to prioritise a forward before we go for a specialist CDM and centre-back? You can answer that, Flex. I nearly called you Flask.
Is it right to what? Is it right to what? Sorry, cut off there.
Prioritise a forward over a CDM and a centre-back.
If Cavani leaves?
Yeah. No, they're just saying, look, with Cavani not even being fit, is this why we need to prioritise a forward over a centre-back and a CDM?
Unfortunately, we're starting to get towards a point where they might be coming as important as each other. I would still say the centre-back, I would. But if you don't have Cavani next year, that will be a massive worry, because, again, we'll be similar to this year, when if one of them gets injured, then we're screwed. So you can't just only have Martial at the 9, because if he's not in form or he's injured, you've got no one else to mix it up. I know we're trying to put Mason in the number 9, but we've still got to be patient with that. And really, that's actually really pissed me off actually in the last couple of weeks, because when I've really thought about it, all we're doing is backfilling the space we've tried to have the stopgap for. The reason why we needed Ighalo was because we didn't have any backup strikers, so we had to just get him in. Then we went, right, Ighalo's obviously not the level that we need for the backup striker. We got Cavani, again, short-term deal, rushed right at the end, just to fill a void. When, like I tweeted the other day, all we need to do is invest in another number 9, properly, a proper one, who is going to be there for however many years and challenge Rashford, challenge Martial, if not be the number 9 ahead of Martial, however you want to look at it. So I get what that super chat's saying. It is becoming a bit of a worry, especially with how Cavani is injured all the time, which we knew would probably happen, and looks like he could leave anyway. But we have to get the centre-back, though.
Should have bought Josh King.
Imagine that, after all of that. He's coming on for Everton and filling in, he is.
Well, you know what?
Good enough for Carlo Ancelotti. Why is it not good enough for Oli?
It's the same with Ricky, innit? People think he's mad. And actually, there's method in what we talk about. I mean, I'm not on Ricky's level. He can have that level. I don't want that level. I don't want this Matic, Mata, bloody Dan James, the tip players to turn us into title winners. But what I was on about with Josh King and Cavani, I mean, obviously Cavani's better than Josh King. It was more about his injury record. His injury record is just
but then Josh King, I don't think Josh King's is that good, actually. I swear he's that.
I think that was actually to do with something else. But no, I was worried about Cavani because of the injury record. And so we knew what would happen. And I hate to say it, although he's done well when he's played and given us a bit of an option. One, how often is he bearing down on goal 1-on-1 with the keeper? Because that's down to our style of play, etc., etc. And secondly, like you said, he's had probably what? I think this is his 3rd injury, is it? Where he's just kind of been out. There was one the other day. He was flipping. It's his 3rd, yeah.
It's his 3rd. The other day, he was flipping on the bus on the way down, and then wasn't even in the squad. What did he do? Get injured on the bus?
And it's always muscle injuries. Even the 18 months before we bought him, it's always muscle injuries with him, unfortunately. So yeah.
AC Milan's team from back in the day, man. That is one thing that is quite sad about the two of us. It just shows the fact that this game's even in the Champions League. I mean, even I wish this game's even in Europa League. Just shows you how far both teams have fallen from. Well,
it was annoying me, and I said this on the show yesterday. It was annoying me that people were going, "This is a Champions League game." Really, it's not. It's a Europa League game because both teams have fallen very, very far.
Yeah. I think what they mean though is it should be back to where it was.
But it shouldn't be.
Not right now. No, not right now.
It should be for the fans, but it's the owners who are at fault.
I think the players who used to. I think that's rude to the players who used to be in the elite level of this game. You know, your Seydorf, your Kaka, your Inzaghi's, Crespo's, Shevchenko's, my gosh, Maldini's, and then you look at all of the players that used to be in ours: Keane, Scholes, Beckham, Giggs. Rooney's, mate, that don't mug these guys off by saying no disrespect to our players and theirs now that
we played them when they had Beckham, didn't they, as well?
Sent them packing.
He picked that scarf up, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Got clapped off the pitch. You know what I mean?
What do you think of Beckham as a player? Says Max. Used to love the way he linked with Van Nistelrooy. I'd love Beckham back now. Yeah, he did play. I mean,
Well,
he's a
actually,
world-class
right
player,
now.
isn't he? We haven't got many players
Yeah.
like Beckham, actually. I mean, it's not, everyone always talks about the Roy Keanes, the Ronaldos, the Rooneys, the Scholes, the Giggs. I mean,
Yeah.
Beckham's not far off them anyway, but there's so many players, the Van Nistelrooys, the Van Persies, the Beckhams, the Mark Hughes. There's so many players that would walk into this current United side. Like, it's not just, if you had Ronaldo or Roy Keane. Like, there's loads. There's probably 40 United players I could think of straight away that walk straight into this team from the last 25 years. Lee Sharp would get into this team. He would. Like, he would. The one before he went to Leeds, the good Lee Sharp would, yeah.
Lee Sharp would run into the corner flag doing dances.
Gary Pallister would get in as well. Like
Steve Bruce.
Darren Fletcher
Steve
would get
Bruce
in.
would.
Darren Fletcher would get in. So, like, there's
John O'Shea.
I'd probably play John O'Shea as a CDM over Fred and McTominay, to be honest. I think he'd do a better job.
Oh, that's a big one.
No,
That's
I
a
would,
big shout.
because he could
That's a
pass
big
a ball. But
Nicky Butt.
Nicky Butt would definitely. Nicky Butt was one of the best players in the World Cup, 2002.
100%. Yeah,
it was good. So,
Sylvester.
no, we're all right at left back, aren't we?
Yeah,
We're
we're
at
all right.
back. But no, there was somebody I was just thinking about then. Gary Pallister would get in easily, better than Maguire. So
Would Schmeichel get in?
yeah, he's the best goalkeeper we've had. Definitely.
Yeah.
What's
That's
your
quite a
score
massive chip,
prediction
that.
anyway? Because we don't want to become the History Channel. We'll get
UK Gold FC.
Yeah.
I'm saying 1-0, tight 1-0, man. I think
I've
it will
gone
be
1-0.
difficult. Yeah, I think that AC Milan would have looked at what Sociedad did when they played against us, and I think they will look at how naive Sociedad were in that first leg and know exactly what not to do when you play us. And I think they've looked at our strengths. Again, they would have looked at the City game. I was reading that their manager kind of was obviously doing his homework and rewatching how we beat City and said we deserved to and we played with a lot of intensity, etc.
Yeah.
But he would look at that and say they were at that best when they were kind of the pressure was off them. They're allowed to counter, etc. There's big spaces in behind, which City gave us. So I think it would. He'd be very. I'll be very surprised if they play how Sociedad did in that first leg and leave loads of space in behind and let us exploit it.
Especially in the first leg at Old Trafford, you don't want the game to be over, do you? They're
Exactly.
not going to do that. But no, somebody was saying, you've not watched AC Milan if you think they're going to sit back. And I think, look, whether I've watched AC Milan or not, why would you not sit back against a team that loves to
it's just the
exploit
best way
space?
to beat us.
I mean, look, we've got to pick Dan James today. Like, there is nobody can say James shouldn't start. He has to start.
Well,
if Dan James is starting,
and he's playing well though. He's playing all right. He's playing good.
Yeah, but if Dan James is playing, you don't play a high line. Like, you just don't do it.
No.
You play a deep line.
You do it at your peril, yeah.
Coach Ash Content says, imagine Beckham whipping corners into Maguire. Well, yeah, it'd be very good. Maguire would still miss him, though, wouldn't he? He's missed a lot this year. I'd take Jesper Olsen and Poborski back at this point, says Desalatag. And guys, will our coaching staff, Fletcher, Carrick and Ollie, get in this team? I would say yes. Ollie will be our best striker. Carrick would walk into the Man United team. He's a bloody good player. Would you put Ollie in over Martial? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good striker, Ollie.
Yeah, he was. He's a very good striker in his day. People actually forget that. A lot of people are saying that my mic's too loud. I don't know if you want to.
No, they're just. I think they're just trolling. To be fair.
Oh, cool.
Because some have been saying it's too quiet. Malana crap, says Jacopo, and Carrick would work at this age, says Jack. Well, I mean, I actually do.
Take him off the bench.
Considering we haven't actually got a centre defence midfielder who can shield the back four and play a pass forward, I think Michael Carrick is probably only a couple of years off being still able to play in our midfield. Probably a little bit past it now, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what the sad thing is as well.
But we will play a high line today as well. I mean, it's all right people saying AC Milan won't play a high line. I think they will do, because I think United will. I fully expect McTominay to push on, Matic to sort of become a back three, and the fullbacks to push on. We've seen that many times before. We saw it happen against Palace, in fact. I think it was Bailly and Maguire centre-backs against Palace, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, and, it was.
Everett or Shaw in current form. I'm not going down to History Channel, Jordan. We're not doing that. We did that little bit. No, Mark, I promise it actually is. Okay. Do you know today's Bay's 100th match, says Rishab. And Cafu's not playing, no. Hi, Mark. Only just finished work and come on. How come Delo can play if you know, mates, says Ashley. I mean, I don't know whether you know the definitive answer to that, Flex, but I think it's just a Premier League thing that you can't
Yeah, I think it's that. I think it's just different governing bodies. I think UEFA clearly must allow loanee players to play against their parent club, whereas the Premier League domestic level don't. I literally thought as soon as the draw was made, I was like, oh, so Delo won't play, and then literally I started reading the next day that he can play. So it has to be that, just different rules, different governing bodies.
And also, I want to ask this in relation to obviously the position we're in at the moment. We've got West Ham at the weekend. We are still second place. We've got that back after the good win. Got Leicester coming up in a week's time. International breaks coming not too far away. It's going to be very, very, very full on in April as well. If we can get through AC Milan, it's quarter-final stage, so it's not even nearly the final yet. Still lots of difficult games to play in the league and the FA Cup. What do you feel is realistically obtainable for Manchester United? I mean, we know Ollie's going to go for it all. Is that possible, do you think, with the team that we've got?
Nah, it's not possible to go for it all. I think something would have to give. I mean, you can obviously put the team out there to go and do it, which obviously he will. He's not going to. I don't think you'll see Ollie going, oh, I'm not going to play strong in this game. What we have seen is that he just goes strong in pretty much all of them within reason. So I think what we will see is us going through all of them, but I think only one of them can come through, one of the cup competitions. And I want to say the Europa League. I just feel that in the FA Cup, I can't remember who's left in it. Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal are out. Southampton, Spurs.
Yeah, Spurs are in it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just not sure. I think at home, as in domestically, I think we could get undone in a one-off game against one of those teams. Whereas I think two-legged ties against some of these European teams that are left in it, I think we could get quite far again. So yeah, but it could easily be the other way. But what my point is that it's one or the other, and then obviously sustain the second place, because Ollie won't. We can't afford to. Well, forget what Ollie wants. We can't afford to get drawn into this top four scrap. Which one bad result at the moment. I know we got the shock kind of win against City, which, well, I couldn't see it coming. But if we don't get the right result against West Ham, and worst case we lose, and Everton, build on us, and Chelsea build on us, then we're sucked into it. Do you know what I mean? We're sucked into it. So we've got to keep up that momentum and get second place sorted.
Yeah, I don't think top four's a done thing by any means yet.
No, it's not.
It is interesting, though. I was just looking here, just while you were talking there. The FA Cup semi-final last year, we were almost in the same position. We were going for top four, we were going for the FA Cup, and we were going for the Europa League. And as we know, we got third place and we didn't win either trophy. In the FA Cup semi-final, we put Pogba, Martial, and Greenwood on the bench from the first team.
He got scared. Yeah, he changed it. And he went to a 5 as well. Yeah. Remember?
He went for a back 5 and he dropped
played
players in a semi-final. And obviously we got knocked out.
Yeah. He will, but that's another thing that I do think he will learn from that. Like when we get to, touch wood, if we get to a final, semi-final this year, I don't think he has one eye on the league then. I think he will learn. He'll just play what he thinks the best team is, regardless of who we're playing against. I don't think he goes back. Because last season was the season where, against the bigger teams, we were playing the 5.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Early on in the season, then it went to COVID, and then we kind of stopped. And then when we came against Chelsea, he went back to the 5. And I remember all of us saying, like, why is he doing that? Why are you changing what a winning team is? Because at that point, I think that's when we just beat the Sheffield United, the Bournemouth, the Aston Villa in the league. We were doing all right. Do you remember? And I remember thinking, why is he going to this back 5, and why has he left the most informed players on the bench? And then we just played absolute crap and got dominated. So I think he will learn from that.
Maldini and Solskjaer having a chat there. I don't know what Maldini's role is at AC Milan, but he looks as classy now as a retired footballer in a snazzy jacket and suit as he did as a footballer.
He done the same thing when we played against them about 18 months ago in that friendly in Cardiff. Remember we went up and we covered it. We had access and we were down by the touchline, and they were doing the same thing, catching up for ages.
Okay, well, we're about 3 minutes away from kick-off, so I'll let you get off. Mark, I was watching highlights of Pogba and Bruno before Pogba's injury. Tears in my eyes. Yeah, we need Pogba back, but it's like these injuries, Flex. When's Van der Beek back? When's Pogba back? There's just... man. It just goes into this like a mysterious hole of, like, we don't get any updates, and I don't understand that, really.
Yeah,
we could do exactly. With that, though. I mean, it's so disappointing that Van der Beek is injured at the same time as Pogba as well, because you felt he would have definitely got a few minutes, maybe 10.
Exactly, he would have for sure. And that's what I mean. It's so unlucky for Van der Beek to, one, he's not getting in even when people were playing crap. And then when people get injured, where actually we would have definitely needed him, he gets injured. It's typical.
All right, mate. Well, we'll speak to you at half time. You're going for 1-0
see you
like
at half
me.
time.
I'll speak to you in a bit.
Yeah, 1-0. All right, nice one.
Cheers, pal. I had no issues with Flex's microphone, so I've got no idea what people are talking about. And I will take you as trolls because, as we know, there are trolls out there online. And you're being ignored. Got no idea what the injury update is with Donny van der Beek or Paul Pogba at the moment, apart from they're injured. But we're about to kick off. I think the hardest part of a 5 to 6 kickoff is getting through that hour chatting at bloody 5 o'clock. It just feels wrong. But we're about to kick off anyway. Let's get on with it. The exciting bit is about to kick in. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right hand corner. We're very close to 1,005,000. So we're about 10 away. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe. Easy to do. Bottom right hand corner. And we're live every night at 8 o'clock. Morning show at 10 o'clock. David Dean says, congratulations on 1 million subs. Awesome job and awesome community it is. So if you are new, make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Make sure you've played United Stand Picks. The link's in the video description for that. £1,000 cash prize pot. If you've already downloaded it, play it. And of course, there's a live leaderboard on the app throughout the game so you can see where you are in that board. You've got to be over 18 to play, but it is free to play. Links in the description for that. But we're about to kick off here. Let me just get the timer ready to go. And we're ready to go. So I'm going to go United 1-0. I think it's really important we don't concede an away goal. It's raining. And it is raining. I don't got nothing further to add than that. Donnarumma, good goalkeeper. Don't necessarily think he's better than Henderson or De Gea, to be honest with you, but good goalkeeper. I expect United to dominate physically and fitness-wise and speed and tenacity-wise. Let's see if that comes to pass. Big night for Matic. Hopefully he'll free McTominay forward. And obviously that front three, James, Martial, Greenwood. No Rashford, no Cavani. We're up and running. The kickoff is here. Let me get that timer up on the screen for you as well. Right, let's sit back and watch a bit of Champions League Europa League football. 5 to 6 on a Thursday night. We know where we are. We're in the Europa League. So I'm interested to keep an eye on Kessie. Tonali's not actually starting. I'm interested to see what AC Milan are all about. What have they got? What do you got? What do you got, AC Milan? Tamori, as we know. Delo playing at left back up against Mason Greenwood. So not up against Stan James. I think that would have been really interesting. I mean, what we don't want to see tonight is Delo pocketing Greenwood or whoever. We don't want to see headlines like that because we just don't want to see it. We don't want to see it. We want to see a positivity streak. Kessie's number 79. Delo starts because he's not playing he's not on loan to an English club where the parent club can say that you're not allowed to play. It's European football, so he can play. Yeah. It's interesting to see how the first few minutes go. I mean, look, I do think Manchester United will be the team that's the better side here. I think we'll have the better fitness. We should have this better speed. But I suppose one thing we haven't really discussed is if United players don't perform. We do the player ratings at the end. If Man United players don't perform, then they might struggle. Nice little play between Bay and Wan-Bissaka there. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of that ball by McTominay there. He's got acres of space in front of him and he pings it 40 yards to Tellez, who instantly has got a player on him. It looks like it's a good pass, but he's got acres of space in front of him to move into the space and play more direct. And he basically plays a sideways pass 40 yards. Move into the space. You're a centre defensive midfielder at Manchester United. You've got to move the ball forward. It's not your job is not to pass sideways when there's space in front of you. I don't mind a sideways pass when there's nothing in front of you, but there was space there. So AC Milan have started off quite lively. I've got to be honest. I mean, I don't think they'll be able to keep it up for 90 minutes, but keep your eye on Kessie. He has got Seedorf sort of vibes. The way he wears his socks, the way he runs the game, physical player. I've seen a few people saying that Kessie reminds me of Seedorf, and not just because of their hairstyle, but actually the way he plays football. He is. He's got a really strong, thick set build and pace across the ground. I mean, if he could have a career like Seedorf, he wouldn't be doing too bad. Bruno Fernandes says, I'm guessing 3-1 to United. I don't think so. I don't think there'll be that many goals in the game. I do think it'll be tight. I've gone 1-0 to United. Greenwood's just gone down injured here. Of course, we can't afford any more injuries, especially not in this game, with our only attacking options being Amad Diallo and Shea Retire. Everybody else is a defender, really, and Fred, who we don't know what Fred is. But 4 minutes gone. Milan are definitely pressing high up the pitch. I stand corrected. That person said they won't play a deep line at the moment. They're not looking to do that. And they do have pace at the back. But be interesting to see. I mean, look, I'm going to reserve judgment. The first 5 minutes, my little concern I have here is that Milan look better technically than we do, which is a concern because I don't think Dan James is technically a very good player. Oh my Christ, he's 3 1-on-1. Fucking hell! He's offside. Bloody hell! I was like, he was in there. I thought they'd scored. He was offside. Ball over the top. Yeah, he's offside, thank God for that. But he took it well, didn't he? I was like, shit. I thought Maguire was playing him on. It's a good finish. I mean, I think Henderson should have stopped it, but he was offside anyway. Got to be careful of that. Lau over the top. Quick ball, but a bit like Isaac Anderson, in the last round. They've got a bit of pace on the break. What minute do you think Man United will get their inevitable penalty, says Derek? You get my message? I don't know where he is. All I can hear is Cat Wars. Yeah, I mean, 6 minutes has gone so far here. I mean, Manchester United, I'm going to reserve judgment, as I said. I think it's been a bit of a slow start from us. And I just worry with McTominay and Matic. Where is that creativity? Already we've seen both of them playing sideways passes. It's slow ball from back to front. If you're attacked... Look, maybe the AC Milan manager isn't stupid and he knows exactly how to deal with Manchester United. That's a better ball by McTominay. Wide to Dan James. A lot of traffic in front of him. Crap pass. We'll pick up a throw in though. But yeah, we've got to move the ball, rotate the ball quicker. That was quite a good ball by McTominay. We are where we are. We've got what we've got. I don't think there's much choice between Fred, Matic and McTominay anyway, because I don't think they're very good creative midfielders. We're missing Pogba. Dan James, I think he's limited. I think he needs to just get his head down and run into space. He might not be able to do that. But one thing we can do, no matter how restricted we think some of our players are, we can use the ball quicker. I mean, Matic here has taken 7 touches. Does get it to Tellez. Go on, Martial. Ooh, good shot. Corner, just over the bar. That's better. Better start. Better from Manchester United there. Corner to United. Well, we're quite good at getting the ball onto Harry Maguire's head. Let's see if we can do it here. Corner comes in. It's high enough. It's headed away. He's given a foul anyway. So tentative start here from Manchester United. Tentative start. What do you think about it so far? I've been quite impressed with AC Milan. You might have already explained it. Sorry, why is Delo playing, says Caleb? Just because he can. Here he is. Because he can. Because I think it's only in the Premier League where Rangers are losing 1-0. We're sleeping on Rangers, apparently. We're sleeping on Rangers. Bloody not. We're wide awake. We're Maxwell House. What was I going to say? Yeah, Delo, if he was playing in the Premier League on loan at Everton, then we've got the right to say no. But because he's playing in Italy, he can play. Good that Rashford's been rested, says John. Well, he's not rested. He's injured, mate. Ollie has said before the game that he's not fit and he might not be fit for the weekend game. That shot from Martial was going over, yes. Yeah, I thought Henderson should have done better on that offside goal, but maybe he knew. You know, Scholes and his crew and his fan club will say he knew it was offside. He didn't, but it was offside, and that's the main thing. Donnarumma contract runs out in the summer. Would you sell De Gea and Hendo if it means get him in on a free? Says Joshua Bellwater. He's also a Mino Raiola client, Joshua. We don't need to bring in another goalkeeper, do we? We've got 2 very good goalkeepers. We need to choose between one of those, sell the other, and then bring in a keeper like Ben Foster, who can just do the job just sit on the bench. I think it'd be very good. AC Milan. What we can't do in this game is concede. If we concede, it opens it up into the favour of AC Milan. I can say hi to Julian. Hi, Julian. Right, let's have a look at what people are saying. You might have already done that one. Mark, apart from Delo Tomori and your Italian... Oh my God! He's done it! I told you to keep an eye on him. Bloody hell. It's soft, Sal. It's a bloody great goal. Absolute great goal, and it's only what they deserve. Henderson looking red-faced. Well, you've conceded a goal now, Dean, and it's probably what they deserve. I need to watch it back. Kessie. I told you keep an eye out for Kessie. Well, nobody's fucking marking Kessie for a start. Prats. Midfield again. That is absolute shite. And I think the keeper should do better anyway. It's a good hit, but fucking hell. I mean, bloody hell. Matic and McTominay, they belong in a bloody museum. They're bloody dinosaur statues. They don't... This. How many goals are we going to concede like this before we buy a centre defensive midfielder? Rodriguez, St. Maximum, and now Kessie. Not marking people. Not marking people. There's going to be a VAR check. We might get away with it. But... why are we not marking people? Ollie's like this. He's not angry. He's angry. He's angry. I'm angry, Ollie. Your midfielders should be marking people. You can't not get marked from a throw-in. What's the goal check for? Oh my God, we've got away with it. Handball. We've got away with it. Yeah. Got away with that big time. Fucking hell. So we could have conceded 2 goals, 1 offside and 1 handball. Nil-nil. Didn't need to change the score. But I absolutely repeat what I said anyway. This is happening too many times. We are not marking midfielders because our midfielders... I mean, people talk about whether Matic, Fred and McTominay can actually pass the ball quick enough. They don't mark either. Like, there's 2 fundamentals of being a centre defensive midfielder that our midfielders can't do. They don't mark up properly, and they can't pass. Well, look, that's a big problem, isn't it? And we were very lucky there because it's a very good goal. I don't think Henderson could have done any better, by the way. So Henderson's been beaten twice, but he's kept his clean sheet, offside and a handball. But if that had been a goal, he literally gets it on the edge of our box from a throw-in. It's poor marking. It really is. But it is technically a handball. They're a little bit unlucky, AC Milan. They probably deserve to be 1-0 up. But Kessie looks fantastic. I love the look of this Kessie. I remember us talking about him. Respect teams from other leagues, Mark, says Vader. There's nothing about... I mean, shut up. There's nothing about a lack of respect. You're being a prat. Stop being a prat. There's nothing about a lack of respect. The reality is the Premier League is stronger than every other league in the world. That's the fact. There's only PSG and Bayern Munich that are better than Premier League teams because one's got oil and one hoovers up all the talent from their own country. But as a league, the Premier League is stronger. Doesn't mean you can't get a result for Milan tonight. Doesn't mean that Olympiacos can't beat Arsenal. But the Premier League is stronger, definitely. We've been a bit lucky at the start of this, but we've got to pick up the players. We've got to mark them up. And we're not doing that. Maguire is at fault for that as well. Watch him go back instead of attacking the ball when Kessie controls it. He always stands and watches the ball, says Sanjit. Yeah, but Kessie's a midfielder. That's why you know. That's why you know it's on him. What would be your stream advice to get Fred to get in the midfield, says Matthew. I'm not really massive. I'm not a massive fan of McTominay, Matic or Fred, to be honest. I just don't think they're of the level that you need. Hi Mark, why do you think Ollie is sticking with McTominay in the big games all the time? Says Resman. I'll tell you what, I think we're in trouble in this game. I might be stating the bloody obvious. Walking outside, it's raining, and I'm saying it might be raining. The reality is, I think we're in trouble. Already, you can see the problem. And the problem is, we're too slow. We're not moving the ball quick. I haven't even noticed. Are we resting Bruno tonight? I've not even noticed Bruno tonight. So... what a goal it was by Kessie. I'm not sure he handles it, you know. I don't know. It's hard to say. Lovely goal by Kessie, though. Oh, here we go. McTominay's doing the thing that makes Man United fans loves him. Gets into fights off the ball. How's about getting hold of the ball, marking your man up and playing a bloody pass? Same for fucking Matic. Milan look very good compared to us at the moment. We are lucky there. That's not a handball, says Tabres. I don't think it looked like a handball on that one. But you'd hope that VAR gets it right. I like Kessie a lot. Here's Bruno. Oh, he's just been chopped down there, Bruno. I don't know how that can be an advantage, ref. I'll tell you what, this game's got more on it than I thought. Gabriel struggling against the BTEC Inter Milan. How will cope in the finals, says Amiasi. Do you think Kessie would suit United, says Jake Davies? Well, he's playing our midfield off the park. So many blue noses watching this rent-free, says the LMH. Gabriel and none of the United players appealed for handball. Surely it was handball, they would have appealed it, says Aidan. I didn't think it was a handball. I've just seen another angle. I'll have to look at it at half-time, but the reality is it's 0-0. Mark, we don't need a top-class centre-back or a CDM. Trust the process, says Sebastian. I tell you what, looking at United tonight, who do you think we need more? A centre-back or a CDM? Fucking hell. We've got Matic and McTominay doing one person's job, and two of them can't do one person's job. Ollie isn't the man. See the same mistakes every week, says Lewis. Yeah, but you know what? In relation to the midfield, what else is he supposed to do? Like, he hasn't got anybody else. Rick's favoured centre midfield pair. If we fail to score against the BTEC Milan, someone really needs to ask him serious questions, says Joe Dawson. And you think Ollie went in expecting a draw and going for the win in the second leg. Well, the trouble is, a draw is not a bad result after these first 20 minutes I've seen so far, but I expected a little bit more. Don says we miss Rashford so much. Mate, we're not a one-man team. Do you think Marcus Rashford's doing anything in a game like this? How many times have we been on the attack? I can't stand that sort of football fan who just thinks we're missing Rashford, so that's why we're not winning. They're missing Zlatan, Kalanoglu, Rebic, Hernandez, Rod McNelly, Tonali. They're missing loads of players, and yet they can still play football fine. James is awful, can't play neat passes at all. Take me home United Road, thank you all. And Tellez puts it onto the roof of the net from a long cross. Scott Panton says we desperately need both a centre-back and a CDM. And I don't think we're missing anybody. Tonali's on the bench because he's not fully fit, Tony Garner. I don't think we're missing anybody. I think we are missing an ability to move the ball quickly from back to front, as per standard. You can blame the player all you want, but they are tactically outplaying us. This is what the Ollie outers mean when they say he's not good enough, says Brown West. Another ball over the top. I like this. He's offside as well. They're getting caught offside a bit. One thing you'll change, says Reyes. I think if you drop I said this before. If Jorginho was playing for Manchester United today, and you could drop McTominay and Matic, or play Jorginho and tell McTominay to get further forward, I think you'd see a better United. But look at this. Look at this. Maguire's having to go back to his bloody keeper because we can't pass out from the back. Clueless. Bloody clueless. That's shit from James. Absolute shite. He does the good bit and then he messes up the easy bit. Come on. I think we're in for a game tonight anyway, which I suppose is a good thing. We're in for a game tonight because they're an even match for us. Some would say a better. Here's Harry Maguire. He's on a run forward. Who are you passing that to then, Harry? Where the bloody hell are you passing that to? I can't even see where he's passing that to. Passing to the corner flag. He ain't got a red shirt on, mate. I don't know what he's passing to there. Somebody said we're in trouble here. With the lack of creativity since Pogba's injury, I would say it wouldn't be a bad idea to try Ahmed in the midfield, says May Tim. A lot of people say, how about trying Bruno a little bit deeper? At this point, I think it's not a bad idea. I've just put a tweet out there. Check it out if you're on Twitter at Mark Goldbridge. I've just said there. I would seriously consider making a change and putting Bruno deeper because McTominay and Matic are bordering on useless. Just sideways passing. Yeah, Bruno's coming deeper now. See? What would you think about a 4-4-2, Mark? Says Dara. I'm not a big fan, Dara, to be honest. Midfield is the biggest problem. It's the core. A core is the most important thing of anything, and our core is woeful, says Robbo FM. Meant to protect and create. Well, they're not very good at protecting, and they're certainly not very good at creating. Yeah. Rangers are losing 2-0. Oh my God. People had the audacity to tell me before the game that we're sleeping on Rangers. Maxwell House. We're wide awake. Maxwell House is a coffee brand. Well, the game has settled a little bit. I suppose that's one thing. But the way AC Milan are moving the ball about here, I'm like, bloody hell. I am a little bit surprised at how quick they are. We need Newcastle Phil Jones. If you know, you know, says Daniel Luciano. Look at the passing from AC Milan. It's wonderful. It's wonderful by AC Milan at the moment. It's lovely. Absolutely brilliant. If they score from here, what a great team goal. Well, McTominay gets the block in. It was lovely play up until the cross. Absolutely fantastic. Well, I don't know whether that's because they're way better than us or our players are just shit at the moment. But Matic and McTominay's forward passing is a disgrace at the moment. They may as well be crabs. It's just side to side to side to side. We've hardly seen Bruno. Right, here's McTominay now. Backwards. He's got to go forwards. Stop going backwards. I just feel that we're trying to polish a turd. I've said this so many times before. You cannot turn McTominay into Carrick. You cannot turn McTominay into Fletcher. You cannot turn Matic, an ageing Matic, into Carrick. And you can't turn Fred into Carrick. If you could do that, you would buy a 5 million midfielder from the Championship and turn them into Michael Carrick. The only way you're going to get a Michael Carrick is by buying a top quality player. That's the way the world football has always worked. You either get lucky with a youth player or you buy a top quality player. You don't buy inferior goods and think you're going to polish them. Doesn't matter how much pledge you put on them, how much Mr. Sheen you put on them. You can't polish them to good players if they're not good players. This is why for years and years and years and years, clubs spend a lot of money on good quality players. Because if it was possible to just buy a Championship player and turn them into a top quality player, you would do that. But that's why people spend a lot of money on good players. And what United are trying to do is turn average players, because Michael Carrick's a coach, they're trying to turn them into Michael Carrick. That midfield ain't good enough. I personally don't think it's ever going to be good enough. I just don't think. Another bad pass by Matic. I just don't think Matic, McTominay and Fred are ever going to get this team going forward. They're not good enough. And Michael Carrick there, you can put a mask on, but I can still see your eyes, and your eyes are telling you the story. He's like, what the fuck is this midfield? It frustrates me because you get a game every now and again where they do quite well and people are like, oh, they're fine. I'm not even talking about individual players here. I'm talking about the three of them. Not Carrick. Get Carrick on. Have you got your boots, Carrick? Carricky, I got your boots. But seriously, no, I don't. Matic, Fred and McTominay, none of them pick up the runners and none of them can play a pass consistently. And the thing is, I'm sure at some point in this game, Matic and McTominay will play good forward passes. But the whole point of being a midfielder is that you do it consistently. Who's picking up the runners here? Another shot on goal. If any of our three midfielders are starting next season, it's a battle for fourth and no trophy for Ollie. These lot are finished. Useless. Absolutely useless, says Gabriel Noel. And the fact is, from players to coaches to manager to board, we just aren't good enough. Go watch a United game from 2006 and just see how far we've fallen, says Michael Hawks. I think if Paul Pogba's in that team, in one of the pivot positions, we're a better team. I think if Marcus Rashford's on the left-hand side, we're a better team. But I still think we need to buy a centre-back, a CDM and a right winger. It's back to normal. Ollie play. You only play well against City each season, says Zane. The fact I've done that one. All our transfer budget is going on Lemon Pledge. You've solved it, Mark, says Matt Roseblade. And if you say Scooby-Doo, McSauce will score a screamer. Scooby-Doo, Dara. Scooby-Doo. I'll try anything. But their passing is so good, AC Milan. And I don't even know if AC Milan's passing is good or it's just ours is so bad. I mean, I said it before the game. I don't think Matic and McTominay work anyway. They're both over 6'10". They're both pretty slow. I mean, it's quite easy to pass your way through. They're just getting in all the time. They're getting in at our back four all the time. It's ridiculous. Why are we insisting on Hendo only passing to the centre-backs every time? We're crap at playing out from the back, says Steve Metcalf. Mark, sometimes you do find gems in the Championship or bottom of Prem and you can polish them and then become great players. Roy Keane. Roy Keane never played in the Championship. Milan making us look like Burnley. I fear Fernandes leaving in 2022, says Simon Evans. Roy Keane got relegated with Nottingham Forest, which was a massive shock at the time. The year before that, I think they got to the FA Cup final. Or they played Man United as well in the. I think they played Man United in the Rumbelows Cup or something like that. But no, I mean, Roy Keane wasn't from the Championship. You can get good players from the Championship. I mean, Jamie Vardy came from bloody non-league, didn't he? For anyone not watching the game, Milan are pressing us man for man high up and not allowing us to pass out from the back because they know our midfield can't pass, says Keichino. Exactly. Spot on. Well done. Good tactical analysis. I like to see that. Daryl Platt says he's beginning to hate Maguire. I don't really know what Maguire's done much. I mean, Delo trying to take on Wan-Bissaka there. Even Delo's getting bloody cocky. Here we go. Matic. He's going forward. He's going backwards. Of course he is. McTominay. Marginally forward. I mean, Greenwood and Martial and James may as well be sat playing bloody Fortnite. Bruno played deeper role to support the midfield, says Ben Van Denton. But then you've got a big gap between the two. I still think you need to have a number 10. Here's Matic. Let's see what he can do. Matic takes too many touches. He's gone back to hot potato football where he's like, how many touches can I take? Nobody wants to do anything inventive here. It's just side to side to side. McTominay again, backwards. The thing is, right, you've got to be brave, but it's your job. McTominay and Matic have got to stop passing side to side and backwards. There's two of you doing one person's job. You've got to... I mean, fucking hell, Scott! Again! He goes to play a forward pass and he plays the most blatant pass that gets intercepted. They're two people doing one person's job. They're killing this team at the moment. We spent about 2 minutes passing side to side to side to side for McTominay to try a forward pass and just give it straight to AC Milan. If we go in 0-0 at half time, I'll be stunned. Mark, I'm guessing playing like this is another reason why Haaland is a bad idea. Mate, if you're Erling Haaland watching this, you ain't coming to Man United no matter how much money they offer you because you're not getting any service. I feel sorry for Anthony Martial. Like, what is he supposed to do? Mark, say in your Scottish accent, there's a moose loose about this house, says Ian Carlton. And Mark, I'm going to just focus on Matic's movement for the next 5 minutes, getting completely bypassed in the midfield when Milan attack. Him and Dan James are a complete waste of space, says Julian. And the reason why Man United is a big club and has achieved success is solely due to the emphasis on the football itself. Focus on the football and the rest will come. The board should know better, says Nahim. Good point. Well, they're coming away again. God, we look so slow. They look so much quicker than us. Just skips past Matic, shoots it straight at Henderson. Fucking hell. Matic is just done at this level. It's sad to see because a year ago, I think Matic had a bit of an Indian summer, which is a renaissance, and I'm not going to say let's sign Kessie on one performance. I think it's interesting that Kessie's been so impressive tonight because anybody who's been watching the United stand longer than 2.5 years, we were talking about Kessie when he was at Atalanta. That's a good bit of play. Bruno into Dan James. Cross comes in. Oh, Donnarumma's there. Dan James was offside. But first bit of good play there from Man United. Scott McTominay actually got it quickly into Bruno. And then Bruno played the killer ball into Dan James down the fly. That's the first bit of thing we've done. First good bit of play we've seen. And it comes from the midfielder playing the ball quickly. In getting the ball. This is what I keep saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it. McTominay gets it. He quickly plays it into Bruno and space is there. If you don't move the ball quickly from back to front and you start going side to side to side, AC Milan sort themselves out. The opposition sort themselves out. Move the ball quicker and spaces appear. United 7 has just made me want to cry. He says, do you think Matic should go to change position to centre-back role? Because I don't think he has it in the centre midfielder. Mate, he'd be an absolute bloody nightmare at centre-back. Have you seen how slow he is? He's just finished at this level. Go and retire in Portugal or something like that. That was good by McTominay. Now, pass it forward. See, McTominay seems to, in the last couple of minutes, he seems to have had some sort of word from the touchline, because he's last couple of times on the ball, he's looked to go forward, which is better. I say we sell McTominay and Matic this summer, keep Fred and bring in new midfields. We're never going to sell McTominay. Do his teammates think Maguire is Brady? It's like they think he's the best passer on the team, says Winter Archer. Martial's just got the worst job in the world at the moment. Mark, our passing is dreadful. Have you noticed there's no initiative to pass and move or create, only long balls and side-to-side passes? Your thoughts, says Anil Sharma. Well, look, Anil makes a good thing. It's not just passing, because McTominay's played a good forward pass there, but it's not just passing. It's the ability to, like you say, the pass and move, the ability to be good on the ball in tight spaces, the ability to carry the ball. We haven't got midfielders to do that. Here's Martial in the box. And goes for a goal kick. Van der Beek is injured. That midfield is a joke, though. I mean, I did say it before the game. I'm very worried about Matic and McTominay playing together, because it just hasn't got the right balance for me. It's they're both tall. They're not going to be very good against smaller players who move the ball quickly, and they're a bit limited in their passing. I mean, at AC Milan, when they start pinging it around, good interception by Matic there. Are Milan better than expected, or are we just terrible, says Aram? I think we're not playing very well. CDM has to be priority, Mark. Either Zakaria or Lamar, personally. McTominay and Matic need to go. Absolutely atrocious, says Michael Pedley. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as... Well, I mean, go as far as you like. What I would say is that they're just not good enough to go where we need to go. This is what, like watching paint dry. I've quite enjoyed the game in relation to Milan more than us. I'm hoping that we can step it up a bit. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer play Paul in the wing, not midfield, says Tabrez. Yes, we have seen that. We have seen that, unfortunately. Today we are seeing a team who wants to play football, another team playing long ball and hope that someone shoots and Paul crosses. Pathetic tactics, says Tapanshu. Come on, Greenwood. I think at the moment, they look the better team. James says McTominay does not need to go. And can't wait for the 80th minute sub, says Josh Canning. Well, that's the trouble, isn't it? You can see that we need to make subs, but a lot of our players are just not good enough, says Mid-Tim. We've worked something here. Greenwood, he might get the shot off. No, he doesn't. Gives it into Bruno. And that's a foul on the edge of the box. Well, this could be a good chance here. If this is me on FIFA with Bruno Fernandes, it's 1-0. It's edge of the box stuff, and it's Bruno Fernandes. And it's a good opportunity for Manchester United. Greenwood or Bruno on this. Nobody else. Mark, thought you might be doing the watch-along in Italian tonight. Forza, Goldbridge, Andiamo, says David Nardiola. And we need to have a complete spine so that our transitions from defence to attack will be quicker, says Nimihil. This is a good opportunity for United. Not from open play as per usual. Well, Tellez is on the team as well. Tellez is a good shout as well. Rami says, let Tellez have a pop. I think Bruno will pull rank. I mean, it's very, very... It suits Bruno better because Tellez is going to... Where Donnarumma has positioned his wall, he's inviting Bruno. Yeah, Bruno's got to hit this because the wall... Where he's put the wall. I think Tellez might hit it, though. He has. Into the wall. Yeah, Tellez hits it into the wall. Donnarumma puts it out for a throw-in. Got a corner here. I think set pieces and penalties. Set pieces and penalties might be our best chance of scoring so far. I tell you what though, considering they've got half their team out, they've been very good. Oh my good God. Oh my good God. Ow! Has Harry Maguire missed this? I can't even understand. Fucking hell. Oh my God. It's literally gonna go in nearly, and he shinned it onto the post from a yard out. What a prat, Harry. What a prat. How has Maguire missed that? How has Maguire missed that? I'm actually speechless, but not speechless. I don't know how he's missed it. Flicked on to the back post. He's literally about that far off the line, and he shins it onto the post. Like... Well, it's a funny old game. It's a funny old game, innit? Cue the £80 million memes and everything, but he's got to score that. If Werner misses that, he's packing his bags and he's heading back home to Germany. But, you know, Maguire's not a striker, is he? But he's got to score. Got to score that. Milan on the attack again. I tell you what, I tell you what I have enjoyed about this half, the way Milan moved the ball about. To be honest, I mean, I know I don't want us to lose this game, but I can only applaud Milan. They've been fantastic. I've really enjoyed the way that they've played. They move the ball around. They're confident on the ball. They're always showing for each other. It's pass and move. It's technical, and they're missing half their players. Like, really impressed. Martial is useful as a waiter without chef's arms at the moment, and but he is a professional footballer. And what the fuck was he doing kneeling in front of the wall? He annoys me so much, says Paolo. And Greenwood should train to take free kicks. Nightmare for keeper being two-footed, says Winter Archer. Congratulations on the million, Marky. You know it's a poor performance when Hendo has more touches than Martial. McTominay does not work. Investment needed, says Cam. And that's our captain. How about Twansebian, Van der Beek, CDM and Bruno at 10? In your opinion? Eschen, I would try anything. Because I personally think that McTominay and Matic belong in a museum with the rest of the dinosaurs, because I think I just think they're just static. It's just so laboured. Even when they do pass forward, you know it's coming last week. It's so laboured. They take a touch, they look at it, and they telegraph. They almost put a stamp on the football because you can see it coming. And then they stand still after the pass, like. Milan, what I like about Milan is that when they pass, they move with the pass. It's pass and move. It's 5, it's 10 yards, pass and move. When Matic and McTominay pass it, they stand still and admire it. Like they treat it like a postcard. Did you get it? You know, it's the movement is just not quick enough. And that's across the whole team. I mean, we've not been the better team this half. We've had the best chance. Although I think that I'll be interested to see at half time whether it actually was a handball. Here we go, McTominay. Was it McTominay who gets the front post? It was Bruno would have got the assist. Lovely assist by Bruno it would have been. I just don't know how he misses this. Fucking hell. I mean, seriously. That is just... is it just bad luck? The thing is, right, the hilarious thing is, Maguire ends up in the net, but the ball doesn't. That's how easy it is. It's literally he ends up in the goal, but the ball doesn't. It's a flick by Bruno to the back post. It's literally about that far off the line, and he shins it onto the post and it goes wide, but he goes into the goal. Just can't. You can't script it. You cannot script. If that was on FIFA, I'd be going mad. It's scripted. How do you miss that? Because you just think you can't. It's unmissable. It's unmissable. But he's missed it. But it's 0-0. Honest opinion about above. Tellez left back, Shaw left centre back, Maguire right, Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back, by Rice, Pogba, Van der Beek as a cam, Bruno left wing, Rashford right wing, Martial. I just fixed with one transfer, says Stratos. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. I think that sounds quite good, Stratos. To be honest, I think it does. Hope you're doing well. The midfield is dead, and we need a centre half in the summer, but the owners just don't care about their pockets, says Mohammed. Mark, it's saying Manchester United 0, AC Milan 1. No, it's not. And Martial wanted a penalty there. He's not going to get it, I don't think. And I think Bruno might be getting booked. No way. A minute to go to half time. Yeah, that's not a penalty on Martial, I'm afraid. But look, the positive is we're not losing. And I think it's very important to Milan that we don't lose an away goal. McTominay. That's a good ball into Bruno. That's what he's got to do. He's got to try and find that ball into Bruno. When he does that, it works. Bruno needs quick ball. It's not rocket science. Get the ball into Bruno quicker. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're very close to 1,005,000. We're about 10 away last time I checked. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Get involved with the channel. We're live all the way through to a full-time match reaction. We'll be doing the player ratings in the second half, which you can vote for. Lovely play here into Delo. Past Eric Bailly. And Eric Bailly wins it back. And we've got the fan forum afterwards as well, of course. But United here, very lucky to be going in 0-0. I don't think we'll buy a centre defensive midfielder though. I think that our coaches genuinely think that in McTominay and Fred, they've got the answer to the problems. Oh my God, Dan James gets done over there. Comes to the back post. Cross comes in again. Oh, Maguire will clear that. And that should be half time, ref. That should be half time. It's half time. Yeah, he's blown up for half time. I mean, look, Manchester United, realistically, we should be winning 1-0. That's the funny old thing about that. We should be winning 1-0. I'll look at the Kessie goal again. I'm not sure whether he did handball it or not. It probably deserved to be a goal, but if it was a handball, it was a handball. But realistically, Maguire with the best chance of the game. I don't know how he's bloody missed it, but overarching thing is that game has not played out the way I thought it was going to play out. I think that is an AC Milan side that is playing in a league that's not as quick as the Premier League, and yet they've passed us off the park with half their team out. Now, we're missing players as well, but if you were watching that game, there's a big disparity in quality. There's a big disparity in the way that you move the football around, and there's a big disparity in the way that both teams are playing. How we survived this half is true Ollie luck. I'm Ollie out, but have been for years. Nothing won't change with new players. He has the favourites. End of, says my G. And with this energy Van der Beek has, why couldn't he be CDM? Says Never. Well, he's injured at the moment. When, as Manchester United fans, are we going to accept that Manchester United isn't Manchester United more? Times have changed 10 years or so, says Kurt Moody. And our academy must have been running on sewage if McTominay was one of the best of his lot. He really was one of our youth products, really, says Gabrielle Noel. Well, look, I mean, all I can say to you is that I think that midfield is dog shit. And people won't like it when I speak bluntly like that, but I've been saying this for a very long time. That midfield is dog shit. There was a couple of good passes from McTominay towards the end of the half, but I said this is what will blinker people. I mean, look, McTominay was better than Matic, but McTominay was better than Fred at the weekend, but he wasn't good. They're not good enough. They are playing in a key position for Manchester United with a Manchester United emblem on their shirt. And a couple of good passes out of 45 minutes. The whole point of being a centre defensive midfielder is you take the ball off your back four for 90 minutes and you feed your attackers for 90 minutes. We can't keep highlighting one or two good passes in 45 minutes and say that's progress. It really isn't that difficult to do it 20 times in a game. Get the ball and pass it to your forward. We almost have to celebrate a forward pass from Matic or McTominay like it's a goal. And when they do it, people go, well, remember that. And we do remember it because it doesn't happen very often. I'm telling you now, it should be happening 20 times a half. It's not good enough. Matic didn't do it at all. McTominay did it about twice. But other than that, that is two people doing one person's job. And they can't do it as two. Like, they're just not good enough. And the goal that we conceded, that probably was a handball, but could have been a great goal, is because we're not marking people. Our midfield is too slow. It doesn't pick up the runners, and it's too slow at getting the ball from back to front. And I tell you, Martial, people will blame Martial again. What is Martial supposed to do with no service? What is Greenwood supposed to do with no service? What is Dan James supposed to do with no service? What's Bruno supposed to do with no service? Everything we've done well in that game has come from Bruno. The flick to Mark Maguire that he should have scored. The through ball to Dan James. But if they're not getting quick ball, nothing's going to happen. I just personally think that United have been absolutely played off the park by a technically better team who've got better players. Now, people will say, do I want Frank Kessie at Manchester United? I can't say after one game because I just don't know how good he really is because he's playing against two shit midfielders. So, I don't know. He looks really good. Let's be honest, Mark, we are so used to these passion merchants that we've forgotten how it feels to have a proper CDM, says Filani. Greenwood has been utter garbage this season, get him out, says AZ, but no service. David says, how would you agree that we don't want to handle the ball? Also, DJ looks on like he could honestly be nurtured to be a great. Flex, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on that half?
Well, the fact that Manchester United is trending on Twitter tells you everything about that half.
Well, we'll see that in a minute whether it was handball because
I'm still struggling. I don't know. I'm struggling. It looked very dubious to me.
But on our, but having said that, we had the best legit chance of the game. I don't know how that stayed out, but overall, we're probably lucky to be 0-0. We definitely shouldn't have gone in 1-0, even though that probably should have happened. What was your thoughts on the half and what's going on?
Just really poor, man. Just really poor, and it doesn't even look like something that just bringing on Fred would solve. I would say.
Well, he can't pass.
Exactly, that's what I mean. So when you look at what's actually going wrong, there is no creativity from the two deeper line midfielders in Matic and McTominay. And like you said, if you bring Fred on, that doesn't necessarily change that. And I think what we're seeing is these types of games. These are the performances that they're both capable of putting in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That basically highlight their flaws. McTominay's not bombing on, not arriving late. He's being more on the ball and trying to be the spark, and like he said, he just hasn't got that in the locker so far as well. Matic, he will keep it simple. Yes, he will play the easy pass, but got caught a couple of times because our shape wasn't right. He could give away a penalty, and it's just not good. And do you know what? To be fair, AC Milan, I thought they might just sit off and not be naive, but they're going for us.
I've been really impressed with them. I like, that's the one thing about United being so bad. I've actually quite enjoyed Milan's football. I mean, I don't want them to score, but I like the way they're moving the ball about.
Yeah, and they're causing us. They're causing us problems. Martial can't get in the game because he can't get the ball. Mason Greenwood can't get the ball. Even Dan James down the sides. Once he went too early. Other than that was the only time.
The front three just don't.
No, they can't get the ball. They cannot get the ball. And I saw a stat that was saying we were even shading possession, which is even worse. You know,
a lot of sideways,
which is even worse. Yeah, exactly. Sideways, safe passes, or they're shutting off the. To be fair to AC Milan, their shape is so good. We just don't have any answers, and that's our problem. When teams set up very organised against us in a proper way, we struggle. We struggle to find angles. We struggle to find spaces where there aren't spaces.
We
struggle movement wise,
don't we? I mean, from what you're saying there, it sounds like if a decent team or a half decent team can shut us down.
This is it.
Let me just catch up on the super chats. Then I've got a good question for you. This game needs Fred for his energy, says George. Right now, so we look so lifeless. We've been extremely lucky. Kind of reminds me of the season we've had, says Red Baron. This entire team is playing without intelligence. Too sloppy, says Craig. And Twitter will call me toxic, but what are we doing at Old Trafford? Pragmatic FC. I don't think he handballs this, you know. Sharath Kamath Fitness.
No, I don't think.
I can't see where the handball is. I don't know. I don't even
looks
know.
Like it hits off his. Looks like it just hits his thigh and then he just bangs it.
I don't know how they've given that. That angle is never going to be the best, but the other ones, it doesn't look like it does it. The issue is clearly the slow midfield, says Daniel, and Matic has been horrible, says Agam. We have not put our forwards one-on-one. Mason to do with this service. What is Tony and Mason meant to do with this service? To be honest, we're just watching it here. This game shows we need Rashi and Shaw, says Big Tight. No, it's the midfield, mate, in my opinion. And we need Pogba and a proper CDM, says Palab. Yeah, we're just watching the goal back there. I can't see where he handballs that. I mean,
it looks like it's his left thigh and then he just bangs it.
I mean, that angle is the one they're going off, but that angle's not the angle we want.
Nah, that doesn't hit his hand. I don't think that hits his hand. Oh, mate, that looks like it hits his shirt. Because even after it bounces, his shirt kind of moves after.
Well, nobody appeals for it either.
No one appeals for it.
I don't think that's a handball. I think we've got the benefit of the doubt there. I mean, maybe it is handball.
We're very, very lucky.
Yeah, but anyway, look, it's 0-0. It's not been given.
Yeah.
We spoke about it before the game. There's limited options on the bench. That is a game that if you had a good bench, you would be making changes. Is he going to just have to stick with what he's got, or do you? I mean, he ain't never going to chuck Show Retire or Diallo on in this game, is he?
No way. And and he's going to remember that it's a two-legged tie as well. So it looks like we might try and nick this with the 1-0 that we predicted, even though it probably wouldn't be deserved. But us keeping a clean sheet from here out, it doesn't fill you with confidence, does it? Dean Henson's got no chance of that. It doesn't fill you with confidence, and that's exactly what we was talking about before the game. If this doesn't go right with this 11, how do you change it? Because I saw you sort of say maybe put Diallo on at number 10 and drop Bruno back just to get some creativity in there, and it's sad that we have to think that way, because with what we've got on the bench, it's the only kind of viable thing. Do you know what I mean? And even Ollie's never going to put him in.
What do you think about that? So, I mean, Joe Holdway agrees. She says the scariest thing is we don't have anyone actually on the bench, so you can change it. Further proof that a CDM is a higher priority than a centre-back, says Canadian Red Devil. Irish pundit slamming McTominay and Matic for not marking up the ball, hit his arm.
Look at the gaps.
RSTV, says Nick. And it was a handball all day. Not sure which broadcast you're watching, but they're not showing you the right angle. Yeah, they might not be showing us the right angle, Carrymore, but it's not conclusive from the angles I've just seen there. That Harry Maguire miss. I think that's inexcusable, because that's about foot. That's about foot to ball. That's not just get anything on.
He's watching it the whole way. There's that camera angle that's in the goal where you can see his face looking at the ball the whole time. That probably doesn't do him any favours, because that shows that he's just got to score, and he'll know it. Like, it's just a horrendous miss. There's no excuses. He's going to get memed for ages for that. Like, it's a bad miss. It really is.
Yeah, it's not like Rooney's overhead kick, which he shinned. Like, it travels so far, and it's simple ball to foot.
Yeah, he's looking at it the whole way, man. He's looking at it the whole way. I don't know how he's actually managed to look. Oh my god, you can't miss them. You can't miss them, because they're the things that you need to bail you out when you're not playing well.
Well, I didn't even react badly to it, because I was just like, you give him that 100 times and he probably scores it 98. It's like...
Yeah, it's just a mad miss. There's no point saying, Harry Maguire, you're missing. No.
His rivals are going to live off that. I mean, he should score it. As a United fan, he should score it. But,
yeah, exactly.
But to be honest with you, he's a centre-back, isn't he? That's it. And also, I just feel we would have been getting out of jail a bit there, really.
Yeah, but that's what but would that be too different to what we've been doing this season in a lot of these games? No, not really.
Ninja Smith United says, actually, it was a foul throw anyway, and they always get away with it at this level.
I didn't even look at it, bro.
If Van Gaal gave Rashford a game in the Europa League, why can't we only put Diallo on? We're pragmatic FC, period, says Shiraz. Well, look, all I ever say is give Ollie till May. I always say that. I think all these people who get really angry and aggressive about, Ollie out, this, that, and the other, I think you're just wasting your own blood pressure. I do. I think it's not going to happen till May, and we're still in the second place. We're still in the Europa League, and we're still in the FA Cup. I don't know what you get so angry about in relation to the manager being sacked. Do I think that half's good? No. Do I think it's a good reflection of Solskjaer and his tactics? No. Do I think he is pragmatic and has favourites? Yes. And I've always been very, very consistent. We've spoken about this, Flex, that it shouldn't be Maguire and Lindelof every week, but it is, and we get very pissed off about it. So I think we're both wide open to the problems. I mean, but to me, he needs 3 players. I don't know whether I mean, what do you think about that midfield? Because apparently we're not linked to anybody. Does he genuinely think that next season that McTominay and Fred or Matic are the guys
of money?
to win
I
the
just think he's been told that you ain't getting all of these targets as per usual. That's what I think, because we know we need a centre half. Like you said, we've got to get a central defensive midfielder, a proper one. I think we're gonna need to get a striker, and we still need a right winger. But they've bought Ahmad, and well, hopefully next year they actually play him then. But we've got to get a centre back and a centre mid. Have to, and pray that Pogba don't leave on top of that, because then we are effed. Because then you're losing that creativity. They need to go and buy another creative midfielder and a defensive midfielder and a centre back. Never going to happen. And a right winger and a striker. 5 positions. 5 positions, mate. Never going to happen. And get someone to back up Wan-Bissaka. Bringing Gazidou right back. Never going to happen. So that is worrying for the summer. It's worrying. Hate to be negative, but we've got the director of football.
I'm at that point now. I don't know where anybody else is, but if you said to me you can buy 1 player for Manchester United and it's going to be a marquee player, but we're only getting 1, I would be get me a CDM. And I know the centre back situation isn't great, but I'm at that point now. I'm like, we are fucked long term. If it's Fred, Matic, and McTominay. And if Pogba goes as well, if
Pogba goes as well, we need 2. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You have to try and replace Pogba. You have to. You definitely can't. You can't have buy a defensive midfielder and then have Matic, McTominay, and Fred as well. No, you just cannot do that. So if Pogba leaves, that would actually be the priority, which is mad.
Yeah, we're absolutely.
Mate, I don't.
Can you see the live comments, Flex?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
I'm just going to quickly pop to the toilet. Is it all right just to chat with him for a minute?
Yeah. Warren Cook says, in a very poor West Brom team, Okay Yakuslu does on his own what any of United CDMs do. Great ball winner and brilliant passing range and affordable. It's my birthday, Mark, says Nish it. Big up yourself. In Verona says, why is McTominay still sitting deep with Baye and Matic on the pitch? This is what we were saying before the game in Verona. Like, if McTominay's going to play alongside Matic, he can't just sit camped in beside him. Like, he just can't. He's got to be the third man run at the edge of the box and get forward. But we haven't been able to see that. Ahodan says, apparently European VAR rules say that if the arm is by the body and it touches the arm, it's not a handball. I don't believe they hit the arm, but I don't know anymore. I'm lost when it comes to VAR. Whether it's Premier League, whether it's in Europe, I'm with you. We just do not know. It keeps changing all the time. And Flex, what are your thoughts on the Barca Academy player? I'm not going to go that. You're not going to get me with that one. And who we got here? We got Anne says, James runs and runs around without goals and meaning. He does not regain the ball. He does not mark the opponent, not a single tackle this season. I think that's a bit harsh. I think when Dan James does play, I think what you do get out of him is the basics. He does his fundamentals right as a winger. I think he understands his position. I just think we want to see a little bit more from him in terms of output. But he's going to work all day. He's going to tuck in when he doesn't have the ball, and I like it. I like when he plays. To be fair to him, I don't really. I think he's come into it. Do you know what I mean? I really do. A lot of people saying that Ahmad's on as well. I'm a little bit behind on my screen. Is he on at halftime? Is he? That'll be a big one. But I don't really think he is. No, he's not, because I can see that there's Bruno and things. So he's not. And that's another thing about this, though. In all jokes, I know you're trying to punk me, but if you think about it, you're not. He is on. He is on. All right, I'll take that back. I thought he was trying to punk me. He is on. Well, fair play, Ollie. At least he's going for it at half time. Amad Diallo is on.
Is he?
And who's that? Yeah, he is.
Well, here we go. Then? He's got to do it.
Martial. That's an injury then, Martial. Yeah, because he hurt his hip, didn't he? Must have had a reaction. So that's very interesting.
Yeah,
probably be Mason up front, probably Amad on the right, I'd say.
Yeah, he was never going to do that in reality, was it? I mean, it gives us a bit of excitement though. 45 minutes. It
does. So let's see. This is a chance for him to come on, and like you said, I don't think if Martial's fit there, he would have done that. But there's a reaction, and this is what happens when we've got the bench that we've got. You have to lean on him. At least he didn't try and do something mad and like put Bruno on the false 9 and then bring on Fred or something.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
that is an exciting thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll make for an exciting fan forum. We'll speak to you on that, mate.
Let's see. All right, nice one.
Speak to you in a bit. We're just about to kick off the second half. We'll start the timer here. So Diallo is on. We'll just have a quick look. Greenwood's going to go down the middle, of course, now. Yes, he is. Yeah. Okay, so I'll change this around for everybody. Exciting times. Ahmad's on, but Martial injured. Is a bit of a blow, to be honest. Greenwood goes up front. Ahmad's on the team. There we go. I've updated the screen for you there before you all start bloody moaning, as usual. So, look. Diallo, man of the match. That's another handball by Kessie there, surely. Thomas says, it's my birthday today. A year ago, I had my last night out. Thanks, United Stand Crew, for great content every single day. 2-0 United, says Thomas. Happy birthday, Thomas. Why does Ollie need to revamp this whole team when most managers have to deal with the tools they have, says Red Baron. Yeah, that's a good point. The trouble is, in fairness to Ollie, it's gone to keeper. In fairness to Ollie, though, he needs, regardless of whether you've got to work with the tools that you've got, Matic, McTominay and Fred just ain't good enough for a team that wants to win titles. Eric Bay's done well there. Confident from Eric. Well, hopefully that'll give us a little bit of a boost. I mean, of course, look, it's exciting that Diallo's on. You worry about Martial's injury, and you also worry about how much of the ball Amad Diallo is going to get. Bruno has got it on the left. Nice little ball there, but it's not going to make it through. Very inexperienced front three now. Mason Greenwood 19. Diallo, I think, is 18. Dan James is just Dan James. Don't know how old he is, but he's inexperienced at this level. Of course he is. Diallo's given up a foul there. Marco says we can't play without Marcus and Shaw. Well, we shouldn't. I mean, what I would say about that, Marco, is how stupid is, not your comment, but because I'm not necessarily disagreeing with it, but what football team can't play without its left side? Where's the midfield? Where's the right side? We can't just be totally reliant on the left side of a football pitch. I've never known of a decent football team that is totally reliant on one side. You might have one of your best players on one side, but you've got to play a game of football. And if you're going to be reliant on anything, you should be reliant down your spine. That's why everyone says build a spine. You can't live off the left side of the pitch. Creativity can be taught in any sphere. The coaches are not teaching it. Carrick and Co are teaching negativity, says James Nelson Graham. I disagree, James. You can't grab hold of a team like Sheffield United and turn them into Manchester City, even if you put Pep in charge. You can't do that. At any level. If you are a pub team manager, when everyone goes back playing and you get given 15 players, when you train, you might realise you've got 5 people who can pass the ball and 10 who can't. You can't turn them into Pep Guardiola. Lovely ball by Bruno into Greenwood here. He's on the left-hand side. Lots of players back for Milan now. Let's hope we see something from Man United at half-time, because the first half was not good enough. That's a foul. We need a penalty, says Jan. Well, let's just hope that Amad Diallo gets some of the ball. That he's on the pitch. He's got 45 minutes. I mean, I do worry about what Martial... Does anyone know what Martial's injury is? Callum says, let's see if there's a reaction. Well, look, I think the positive is it's 0-0. If we can get out with a 0, how good would Kessie and Rice be in our midfield? I'm not going to go over... Suki, I'm not going to go over the top about Kessie because the reality is I'd like to see what Kessie did against a decent midfield. And I know that's disrespecting our midfield, but I think that Kessie... I think all Milan's midfielders look quite good. Diallo's just lost the ball there. All Milan's midfielders look quite good because it's up against the midfield that's not very good. That's good ball into Bruno there. Who passed that ball into Bruno there? Was it McTominay or was it Bailly? To be fair, Delo as Aaron Wan-Bissaka back up and Van de Beek's McTominay's role can be tried so that the club can focus on getting CDM centre-back and right winger for now. This is Henry Chan. It's a goal! It's Amad Diallo! He's scored! Get in! Remember the name! He shocked me! He's done it! He's done it! Amad Diallo off the bench onto the score sheet with a flicked header against Donnarumma. It's like a hobbit against Tyson Fury, but he leaps up with the back of his head and it's a lovely ball. I think it's going to be Bruno. Of course it's going to be Bruno. What a pass by Bruno Fernandes. And Amad Diallo, a lovely little Hernandez-type seal header. Up he goes and into the back of the net. It's a world-class ball by Bruno. And Diallo is the boy. Diallo is the goal scorer. Look at that flick. Off the back of his head, over Diallo, over Donnarumma. I'm not joking. It really is like Bilbo Baggins running up against Hagrid. And he's put the ball over the top of him. Flicked header with the back of his head. It's a lovely header. It's a delightful ball by Bruno. We've got a goal. We've got a bit of positivity, and we've got a youngster who we all want to succeed, who has delivered within 5 minutes of coming on the pitch in a game where Manchester United have not been that great. It's the quality of Bruno that provides the opportunity for Diallo, but take nothing away from him. Absolutely wonderful header from Diallo. World class ball by Bruno. Lovely assist. Lovely goal. Quality. Quality. And that's what we're talking about. Quality. Lovely. Get in there. Get in. Get in. Well, you know what I love about that as well is everyone's going to say pick Diallo all the time now. Ollie, you've created your own rod and we're going to smack you with it. Ollie's like, oh shit, I'm going to have to pick him now. Kaneki, what am I going to do? What am I going to do when Rashi's back and Dano and Cavi, Eddie? How am I going to get him in the team? I'm going to get more shit now. Have you ever seen Messi do that? Says Jack Brown. I tell you what, for a player, you wouldn't expect Amad Diallo to be scoring goals like that. But when he can do things like that with his head, what can he do with his feet? But he's a feisty little player as well. He likes to put a tackle in. I love him already. We already did. But I said this a few weeks ago. The celebration hug between Diallo and Bruno gave me tears. Let's go. Yeah, because quality appreciates quality. We know this. Get in there, says high five. That header is Sheringham-esque, says Ados. To be fair, Delo is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I've done that one from Henry. And watching this on Univision, don't know what they were saying, but they got excited and woke me up, says Hunter. Well, it's woke us all up. It just brings... I feel like crying myself. I just feel so happy. Because that first half made me want to cry with depression. But I just feel happy because, I love Bruno Fernandes. Everybody knows that. But that pass is just exquisite. But the way he does that with his head, there's no fluke about it. It's just pure Dan James is in. And it's... is it a goal kick or a corner? A corner. I think Dan James would have been offside anyway. Oh no, we can't be offside from that. Anyway, it's going to be a corner to Manchester United. But it brings a tear to the eye of joy because that header is so impressive from Diallo. I mean, the pass is superb. To put it in between the goalkeeper and the centre-back like that from Bruno is elite. But to flick it like he did, you know, that's not what we've bought him for. He's not Andy Carroll. He's a technical little talent. But if he can do those sort of things with his head, it just shows you, you know, it's very, very exciting. And, you know, the most exciting thing for me is that he's arrived. He's arrived now. Like, we don't have any more of this bullshit about, well, he's not ready, give him 5 minutes. Everyone's going to be demanding that he gets picked more and more now. Get in. Anybody else get a Chicharito Hernandez vibe? Yeah, I said that, Luke Wayne. It was very Chicharito-esque. This is the results that we get when we use subs. Come on, Ollie, says Paul. McTominay's just been booked, by the way. Oh, McTominay's stupid there. He could have got a red. Stupid kick out on the goalkeeper. I love our academy, but look at the desire from Ahmed to make the run and look at Scott Greenwood levels above, says John Prashtham. And Ahmed's first header better than any Maguire has done since he's been here. Get this lad more game time, Ollie. There's quality in the team. Use it, says Gabriel Noel. Well, what I like about Diallo is that it's a long journey ahead of him, a very long journey ahead of him. But the big thing I would take away from that goal is that I thought Matic was taking the captaincy off Maguire then. Give it to me, you are shit, Harry. But yeah, I think with Ahmed, the thing that I really like is that the fans want to see him play anyway. Now he's scored a goal like that in a game where we were shit. He's given us a spark from a game where we've been shit. People will demand we use him more and more. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a starter, but in any game where we're not playing well now and he's on the bench, fans are going to be, why are you not using him? And Ollie really won't have an excuse anymore because he's a game changer. That goal there's nothing fortunate about that goal. Yes, it's a brilliant ball from Bruno, but he makes the run and then he finishes it well. Oh, here we go. We're out of position. Good block, Maguire. Got to be careful about this on the break. 0-0 is better than 1-1 because we don't want to give the away goal up. Would like to see Rashford, Greenwood and Ahmed and then Bruno behind them as our front four until we get Haaland as our number 9, says Stebby. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m. Always live and interactive. Get involved with the United Stand. You're very welcome. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe. This would be a fantastic result for me. I tell you what, this tie is not over though. One thing I am going to say firmly right here, right now, is this tie is not over. Even if we get 2-0 in this game, I think Milan have shown enough quality in this first tie that next week we're in for a game. I can't see us putting this game to bed. So exciting times because I think we've got a difficult game next week as well. Where would United be this season if other teams actually took their chances, says Uber Melon? I can't really think of Milan having any clear-cut chances though. They've had a few, you know, they've played well, but they haven't really had any clear-cut chances. I'm sure they will create chances in the second half. McTominay gives up a corner. Fagat says if we get 2-0 we're through. I think we'd be in a very strong position if we get 2-0 because I'd fancy us to score over there. But yeah, Ahmed is the same nationality as Bay, isn't he? He's Ivorian, Ivory Coast. So corner to AC Milan here. Oh, I've still not come down from Ahmed's goal. Watch out, Kessie. Didn't really connect. Goes for a corner. And United should clear the corner here. Wan-Bissaka. How would you feel finishing second and winning Europa? Says FU. Christopher says, Harry, see and learn from Ahmed how to head. Player ratings are out in about 10 minutes. I mean, I know who's going to get man of the match, but the funny thing is, Ahmed always gets a good score anyway, even if he plays 2 minutes, because everyone loves him. But to be fair, with Bruno, he's got to be the man of the match contender, because fuck all, we've been really crap in this game. The vast majority we've been crap, and the only two things that have happened really well in this game is Bruno's pass and Diallo's finish. So they are the contenders. That's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. Wan-Bissaka, they're trying to say Wan-Bissaka fouled him, but I think he's got every right to try and win that header. Dan James running into traffic again. Harry Maguire's coming forward again. Don't you just love the way Harry Maguire charges forward and then always plays the ball to the side? Like, if you're going to charge forward, try and do a 1-2 or something and keep the movement going. We're playing a lot higher. I did say this about Milan, though. I don't think they'll be able to keep this up. Nice play, Diallo into Greenwood. Go wide. Wan-Bissaka, put the cross in. I did say this. I don't think AC Milan will be able to keep up this pace, speed for long. My wife cut my hair on lockdown, Rommel. Ollie seems to forget United fans will never criticise playing young players. We know it's a risk, but better to fail trying than safe 0-0, says Sander Red. I mentioned Tom Bear says, I mentioned the other day how the referees got our results wrong, and you mentioned rightly about how we've been lucky. I now see what you mean, says Tom Best. And nice little ball in there, but Henderson will pick it up. Luke says, anybody else get a cheeky... Yeah, we've done that one, haven't we? Please smash a like on the video, by the way. We're not far off 10,000 likes. Most of those will be for Diallo's goal, I think. Beep, beep. You know what? If you know. Beep, beep. Is nice ball into Cassie. He's got the momentum. Eric Bailly does well. Slide tackle. And Diallo will keep it in. Gives it into McTominay. Greenwood wins it. Bruno goes for Greenwood. Oh, what a ball again by Bruno. Delightful ball into Greenwood, who does well. He's doing well, Greenwood, today. Since he's gone up front, he's worked hard. Good play by Mason there. Dino's been playing well, but we are quick to forget De Gea's phenomenal foot goalkeeping and the great saves he's made this season. I mean, mini fridge, I don't really think there's any point in talking about Henderson or De Gea. I mean, Henderson's not really had anything to do today. You know, it's another one of those, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure, what's his name at the Manchester Evening News will give him 10 out of 10 because his hair looks good. But, I mean, you know, Dean's done nothing wrong. He's not really had anything to do. I bet Ahmed will get 10 out of 10 in the match rating, says Lloyd Howell. Well, if we win 1-0, I'll give him 10 myself. Do you think Ollie can build another class of 92 in the coming years, says Varron? I think that's just so disrespectful, Varron. Like, you've got the Busby Babes, you've got the class of 92. They are epic. Like, I think to even think that we can do that under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is massively naive. I'm not. That doesn't mean that we can't have 4 or 5 really good young players coming through, but the class of 92 and the Busby Babes, they were just ridiculously unbelievable. Terrible defending by Milan. Awful keeping too. I'm afraid Amon is not yet Premier League quality and certainly isn't big enough to be a great. It's just facts, says Greasy. Well, I don't think anybody says that he is. You're negative, Nelly. What about as a backup midfielder? I don't know who that is. Wretched Boyle. So I'm not going to read a name out that might be a rude name. Matic is finished. Well, I said that in the first half. I think Matic had to start tonight. I've got no problem with the team that Ollie picked tonight. Matic had to start because Fred and Fred and McTominay can't get picked every single game. They can't get picked every single game. It's be silly. So Matic has got to play. He's a squad player on good money. It's a lovely cross. Oh. Tell you what, that could have been 1-1. That was a good chance. Cross to the back post. He's got ahead of Wan-Bissaka. I don't know what Wan-Bissaka's just missed the run here. He's got caught on his toes. That would have been Aaron's fault. He's seen the run. He's got done on the run. Poor defending there by Wan-Bissaka, to be honest. And they're running at us again. AC Milan starting to have a little bit of the ball here. Kessie. Straight at Dean Henderson. They're getting closer. We need to be a little bit careful here. They're getting closer to our goal. We can't pass out at the moment. Damon says, how does Ricky love Matic? It's beyond me. Tonali's coming on. Now, I like Tonali. Tonali and Diallo on the same pitch. I'm dreaming. Now, I do like Tonali. He'll never come to England, but I do like him. I don't know how good he's going to be in a game like this, but Kessie's been very good, yeah. United without Bruno is like Good Morning Britain without me, says Piers Morgan. And the Italian Roy Keane, says Marvin AM. If you know, you know. Might try and get him at Newcastle, actually. I tell you what, he'd be brilliant at Newcastle. He's exactly what I need. I'll write that down. Danilo says, what would you pay for Kessie? I mean, I don't know, mate, because I just don't know. Like, he looks really good, but he's playing against the midfield that's so static and slow. I'd love to see Kessie play against Chelsea or Man City or someone like that, because they've got proper midfielders. Like, our midfield is so slow and static that Dan James just got sent back to Swansea there. Matic with a strong tackle. Bruno looking for the pass. Tomorrow's there. What would you pay for Joshua Kimmich, as Richard Boyle? And Dean has better distributions as. I don't want to get into this Henderson De Gea thing, because I'm watching the game of football with 25 minutes to go in a crucial Europa League game where if they get an away goal, it makes it very difficult for us. And you want to talk about an irrelevant goalkeeping thing that won't get solved until the summer anyway. Phil Jones gets 9 every game at CDM on Footy Manager. Smart holder. Scott says we need to go for the juggler and get another one. I think this game is evenly poised at the moment. I think the chances of them scoring are probably slightly better than us. But if we could get the second goal, it would be a fantastic result, because I think AC Milan have played well. What I would say about that Kessie, my final point I would say about Kessie is he's absolutely owned our midfielders. You know, he's made Matic and McTominay look very average tonight. Delo. Cross comes in. Headed away by Dan James, who's basically playing like a left wing back at the moment. We're getting a lot of men behind the ball, which, to be honest with you, might be a little bit negative, but ultimately we are winning 1-0, and I'm telling you now, if you cannot give an away goal away, it's a really, really important thing in European knockout. Of course, we play Milan next week, and if they haven't got an away goal, big thing. Apparently, Kessie might be going to Chelsea in a swap deal. Well, it'd be a good player for them. How old is Kessie now? I don't think Ibra will be back next game, will he? So Tonali's coming on now. What is Greenwood doing on the pitch? So poor, says George. I think Greenwood's done all right this half. He's 20. Oh God, he's 24. He's 25. So Tonali comes on. Check him out. I do like Tonali, number 8. I think he's just coming back from injury himself. 24 Kessie, so he's exactly the right sort of age. 22 minutes to go. Oh, it's a difficult game for Milan because they'd love to get the away goal, but they also don't want to concede the second goal. And that's the simple. That's the truth. You know it. I know it. Please subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. I mean, some people in the live comments are saying that don't you think that AC Milan deserve a point out of this? You know, no, I don't subscribe to that. Andy and Bruno, thanks for the super chat there. I don't subscribe to that view because at the end of the day, you don't always get what you deserve in football. And I'm not going to say that I want them to get an equaliser because they deserve it. I'm a Manchester United fan and I want us to win 1-0 so that we don't get an away goal and we go through to the next round. That's basically what I want to happen. So, yes. Mark, if you have another underwhelming transfer window, you might join my club, Arsenal at the bottom, says Piers Morgan. And get in, Luke Wayne, we've done that one as well. Thanks for the super chats tonight, by the way. And as I said, please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. A lot of rain in Manchester, you can see it there. 20 minutes to go. Player ratings will be opening soon. What does Matic and McTominay bring to the team as a duo, says Carl Brown? High blood pressure? Pain in the eyes? Pain in the arse? They're just so static. I just can't ever think that I'll ever think that they're good enough for Man United, and I can't see that they'll ever get to the point where they are good enough. I think we just pretend that, they're going to get better, they're going to be good, they're going to be good enough for Manchester United, and they're not. They're just so... You watch somebody like Fulham play, you watch somebody like Leeds play, they play better football than we do from their midfield. We've got better forwards than Leeds, but their centre defensive midfielders or their centre defensive midfielder are just better than ours. Here's Greenwood. Into Diallo, into Greenwood. Oh, Dan James, you fucking idiot! How the fucking hell have you missed that? That's 2. Lovely play by Greenwood. Gets the cross in. How has he missed? I mean, look, I'll give Harry Maguire a little bit of a let-off, but this is a bloody goal for Dan James. He's got to score that. For fuck's sake. He's got to score that, and that's 2-0. Well, I will be marking him down in the player ratings for that. Might have had a bit of a quiet game, but he's got to score that. He's got to score that. If you are a forward... Look, Harry Maguire should have scored his, but if that had fallen to Harry Maguire from there, I'd say, fucking hell, it's fell to a centre-back. But as an attacking player, that is an open goal. Get your body shape right, get your it's basically a pass into the goal. It's a pass into the goal, get your body shape, boom. He's bringing Shaw and Fred on here. It's risky to bring Luke Shaw on. So double substitution here from Ollie. Obviously he's going to shore it up at the back. No pun intended. I wouldn't risk Luke Shaw in a game like this. Need Fred on just for his energy and pressing, says George Vargas. And hi Mark, I just got to work and barely look at the scoreline. How do we score? Says Red Harlow. He's taking Bruno off. AC Milan are playing like City. Who is their number 79? Says Joe Dawson. It's Kessie, 79. Very good player. Wan-Bissaka is coming off. And Bruno is coming off. Oh, Williams is coming on. And Fred is coming on. It's horrible weather out there. And Dan James is coming off for Luke Shaw. So we're basically parking the bus here. 5 at the back. 3 in the midfield. Bruno and Wan-Bissaka are going straight down the tunnel as well. It's a very defensive change if it doesn't work. Hi Mark, do you firmly believe that Aaron Wan-Bissaka was an upgrade on Dalot as an overall fullback, says Andre. I do firmly believe that Aaron Wan-Bissaka is an upgrade on Dalot because he's a better defensively. I don't think Dalot is a good defensive fullback. James says, what do you think about Brandon Williams? I think he's a bit of a hothead, which is in one way it's good, but you need discipline as a fullback. I think he needs a loan. I think he's not going to get the game time at Manchester United to play regularly, so he needs to go on loan. But you know, I don't understand why Twan Sebi doesn't get brought on there, to be honest. I think Twan Sebi's done at Man United, to be honest. I do. I can't understand why Twan Sebi doesn't get used. I'm not talking about this game. I think this is a good result for us if we get it. And I think that the changes he's made is to try to keep a clean sheet because away goals can be very important. So, but yeah, just on the subject of Twan Sebi, I think it's an odd one. 15 minutes to go. I think player ratings are open. I'll just double check. You can check on the website if you want to yourself. Yeah, it is open. I'm going to drop the link in the video description for you. So let me just do that. So I think it's going to be, well, we're going to be defending a lot now. We haven't even got any creativity now. It's just, there's no Bruno. So we've given up the creativity. We've only got Greenwood and Diallo, and we're basically playing a back eight, which people will criticise. But at the end of the day, if we get over the line with a 1-0, I think that's what Ollie's clearly intending to try and do now. If it doesn't work, then, you know, there will be critics. Links in the video description now. You can go over to the website and mark your player ratings up if you so wish. Everybody out of 10, 6 being the average, and yeah, star for your man of the match. Submit your score. Ollie gets a score as well. Be interesting to see what people. I'm looking forward to the player ratings actually. Not as much as I'm looking forward to getting this result. Still time to go. Apparently we're 400 subscribers away from 1,006,000 as well. So please subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. It takes one click. Links in the video description. Sorry, bottom right hand corner to do that. They're down the right hand side here into the box. Milan, Maguire. It's a terrible cross. Got away with it a little bit there. Well done, Luke Shaw. Very rainy now. Got to be careful. Maguire. I'll go for a throw. I think we might have a few squeaky bum moments here. I'm telling you now, 0-0. We can't have a 0-0 now, but 0-0 is better than 1-1 because you don't give up the away goal. Got to really, really try and not concede. I don't think Zlatan is back for the next game. Just for anybody who's asking, I'm not too sure about that, but I don't think he is back. It's all Milan at the moment. It's part of the bus time. We should be quite good at this. Matic driving forward. Might have a chance on the break here. This is what frustrates me with Ollie, says Carl Brown. Is this a United manager, Mark? We should be going for the throat. Would Pep do this? Says Carl Brown. Bruno, man of the match. Mark, agree. Says Dan Kelly. Yeah, I think Bruno is man of the match across the 90 minutes. I know people will give it Diallo because of the goal, but I mean, realistically, it's a world-class pass by Bruno. Ahmad has not been class. I mean, look, I think he's got potential to be something very, very special. But he's given the ball away a few times in this half, and he's a work in progress. He's got great potential, but that ball by Bruno is so good, and the header is fantastic. What a goal! What a goal! What a goal! We should have had Delo loan that he can't play against us, add to Milan's injuries, but our board not got brains to do that, says Dazo W. And hi Mark, if you had the chance of Haaland, Stroke Sancho or a CDM centre-back, who would you take, mate? If you've watched this game with the rest of us tonight, you cannot say that Manchester United do not need a centre defensive midfielder. We're crying out for one. Got to get one. Stretch time. My score prediction tonight, Billy Jones, was 1-0. So I've just realised that. I don't normally think about getting the accurate scoreline, but I did predict 1-0 tonight. But not, like many things in life, I didn't predict it to be 1-0 in this way. I actually thought, Milan would play a bit deeper, that we'd play a bit better. They'd defend well and we'd just end up getting one goal. But actually, I mean, look, if I'm absolutely honest, if I was watching this game as a neutral, I would say that Milan probably do deserve a draw, but I don't want them to. Was Bruno happy to be taken off with 15 minutes to go, says Salah Ahmed? I don't think he was. To be fair. I'm not changing the bloody formation on there. I'm not wasting time doing everything that Ollie's done when I don't like it. And it will just mess up my screen, so I'm not changing it. I'm not changing the lineup. You're sleeping on Rangers, Mark. I don't know. What's the score in the Rangers game? 1-1. It's not a bad result for them. I thought they were 2-0 down. I'm not ranking Mount and Mason and everyone like that, Barney. It's a watch-along for Manchester United. And you never gave James credit for playing well, says Alpha. Mate, he played shit. I'm sorry. Dan James played well in that game. Where? He should have scored an open goal, and he did next to nothing at all. Mark, nightmares become a reality. McTominay, Fred and Matic all in the midfield at the same time. It's your dream midfield. Real Madrid talk about having Casemiro, Modric and Kroos. We've got Fred, Matic and McTominay on the pitch. The world is awaking. The world is quaking. They're scared. We should be 3-0 up. Yeah, I mean, funnily enough, John Parishtham, you're actually right. If you think about Maguire's chance and you think about Dan James's chance, as funny as it sounds, we should be 3-0 up. I don't think we deserve a 3-0, but we should be 3-0 up. That's a foul by McTominay. Got to be careful because he's on a yellow card. He won't get a second. So they've got a good free kick situation here. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I don't know what McTominay's on about. It's definitely a silly foul on the edge of the box again. Giving up. We're very good at that. Fred, McTominay, Matic, very good at giving these sort of free kicks up. I think Henderson should be all right on this. It's not particularly dangerous area. Well, I mean, it's edge of the box, but it takes a certain type of player to be able to score this sort of goal, and I don't think AC Milan have got one. If Kalinoglu was playing, I'd be worried, but Castillo, he don't worry me. Yeah, straight into the wall. We weren't worried. We weren't worried about that. 7 minutes to go. Chance to break here. Go on, Mason. Oh, good tackle. I tell you what, they've worked hard, AC Milan. And as I said, I think if we can keep this 1-0, it's a good score result. It's a good result. But I think the second leg won't... I won't feel like... I feel there's a lot more work to be done in Milan. To be honest with you. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but that's what I think. I think if we do get away with the one result, and I think we will. I think we will win this 1-0 now. But if we do get away with it, and I don't mean literally get away with it. I mean like if we get the 1-0 result, I think that it's still very much open in the second half. Player ratings, link in the video description. If you want to do that, first paragraph, third line, player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being average, put a star next to your man of the match, and submit your score. We'll be going through that on the match reaction. Well, I'm looking forward to doing the player ratings. I've taken some notes in relation to the game in general. I don't think we've played very well, actually. But sometimes the result... Well, a lot of the time with United over the last 8 years, the result masks the performance. And I think that... well, if I'm behind the game, it's because of BT. So I can't do anything about that. Or it's because of YouTube. We overachieved with players like McSauce, Fred, Matic, James. They helped us to stabilise and move from point A to B. To move further, we need new personnel, says Bridgesh. I think I agree with that. I agree with that. Dan James has been good lately. You always criticise. Mate, I don't, actually. I've given him really good scores. So you can carry on talking shit, or you can actually go back and check the player ratings for Dan James. But I'll warn you now, he's getting a shit score tonight, because tonight he's been shit. But the last 2 games, I think he's had 7 out of 10 twice out of me. So I know what you're doing, Alpha. You're trying to soften me up to give him a good score because you know I'm going to give him an honest score. Well, like I always do. 6 out of 10 is average. He's had 2 7s over the last few weeks, so I haven't given him a bad score. But tonight he's getting one. No matter how much you beg, Alpha, he's getting a bad score tonight because he should have put this time to bed. Finley says, congratulations on 1 million. Love the show. After tonight, I'm nervous for the second leg in Milan. It's going to be close. Shout out to my girlfriend, Georgia, says Finley. Shout out to Georgia. I nearly said shout out to my ex, but she's not my ex. And there's never been anything going on, Finley. Milan are coming away with it here. Getting a bit nervous now. I think ultimately Milan have missed people like Kalinoglu, Rebic, Zlatan. They've missed that quality in the final third. You can really see that they are missing those players. Donnarumma puts it out. You can really see that they're missing that quality. Yeah, Man United miss Rashford and we miss Pogba, but yeah, Milan look like a side that are missing those sort of players in the final third. Mainly creativity. I think that they haven't really tested Henderson, have they? Which surprises me because in many ways they've dominated that midfield, but they've not really been able to break through that defence. Not because that... I mean, I do think when Maguire and Bailly play together, we're a better centre-back pairing. I actually low-key think Maguire and Bailly have played well tonight and they've not actually been given the credit. I think defensively they've done well. And I think Telles and Wan-Bissaka did okay as well. I think the midfield too have been poor, but I think Milan's lack of quality in the final third, they haven't been able to exploit the chances as well as they could have done. Because they've played better football than us, Milan. I think they've played better football than us in the final third. In the midfield. But in the final third, they've not really been able to create enough. It's Kessie. Little dink. Oh, he swings his foot at it. It will stay in, though. Can't concede an away goal here. Would you ever play Fred as your number 10, says Salah Ahmed? God, no. It's like putting Alisson up front. Player ratings are going to be interesting, though. I'm giving out a few 5s. I am going to give a few 5s out. Would you ever... no, I'm not reading that one. Not before. Don't forget we played like this a lot under Fergie. Unfortunately, the result is more important than the performance, as Geraint Chapman full. I don't ever remember Sir Alex Ferguson putting a midfield 2 out like that, to be fair. We did play like this on European ways quite a lot. Because it's 2 games, isn't it? 2 games, 2 fixtures. So it's, you know, you've got to play for the result. I'm very, very happy with the result. Very happy with the result. I think it's... If you'd have offered me this... Oi, Luke, don't do that to Tonali. I love Luke Shaw and I love Tonali. Don't rough up Tonali, Luke. Luke, there's no need for that. He's not done anything wrong. I like Tonali. Video, cooking video tomorrow, eh, man? Hopefully you get it out for midday. The tie itself is not over yet, no. Leave it, Harry. No, he's not left it. I think Henderson could have had that. Mark, yet again, after Bruno's sub, which had to be done, the drop-off is beyond and was bad at the start, says Andy and Bruno. We've got 3 minutes added on here. You can do your player ratings through the video description, yes, and we'll be going through that on the match reaction. And there's another chance for them to whip a ball in here. I think we're home and hosed now. It's a corner to them. Oh, fuck off! Fuck off! That's going to get clipped. I went quiet after saying we're home and hosed. Oh, Dean Henderson. Brilliant goalkeeper. Tell you what. De Gea is better than Henderson. I'm only joking, but I mean, seriously, that's the tie has just turned. The tie has turned on its arse. Cross comes in. Nobody marking him. Nobody marking him for one. Matic and McTominay. Oh, Henderson, it's straight at you. If that's De Gea, people are going to go crazy. It's straight at him. It's straight at him, for God's sake. He's got to save that. Where's bloody Manchester Evening News editor now? Where's Paul Scholes now? Where's Roy Keane now? Eh? This is it. This is the nonsense that you create. You create this nonsense. Oh, he's so much assured. He's so much better. The reality is, keepers make bloody mistakes. You put them on a pedestal and they make mistakes. You start talking and getting in their head about Henderson against De Gea. I told you this would end in tears, and it bloody well has. That's a stupid mistake, but also, that is on McTominay and Matic losing their man again. Bloody idiots. Bloody idiots. Bloody idiots. Ollie's smiling at 1-1. I take no satisfaction in that. So many people over the last 2 weeks have been going on about Hendo over De Gea, Hendo over De Gea, Henderson's better than De Gea. Constantly. British media, English bias, bullshit for 2 weeks. I take no pleasure in that mistake by Henderson. I could be all over that because I stand by De Gea. I think De Gea is the better goalkeeper. I could be all over that. Manchester Evening News, Sky, BT with their clips. They've caused all of this. This is bloody stupid. because they made a war between our goalkeepers that we never bloody needed. We didn't need this Henderson's better than De Gea thing that they spread and has gone through our fan base. And now this has happened. They've built this up. They've been there with the De Gea clips. They've been there with giving Henderson 9 out of 10 because he throws the ball out. They've caused this. We didn't need this. De Gea's on paternity leave. Henderson's the goalkeeper. Let them get on with it. They built this up and it's blew up in their faces because they're bloody stupid. That's an absolute mistake by Henderson. A mistake by Henderson and poor marking by McTominay and Matic on the cross. Again, we're not marking people up properly. Bloody stupid. I said this all along. We didn't need to start making a war between our goalkeepers. We didn't need to do it. And the media did it. And it's their bloody fault. Anyway, match reactions coming up. I'm going to lose my crap in the match reaction. Player ratings, link in the video description. Loads to talk about. Poor result at the end of the game. We parked the bus and failed. That's what happened. We parked the bus and we failed. Link in the video description for the match reaction. Link in the video description for the player ratings. I'll see you there over there in a minute. Bloody, I blame the press. British media bias has screwed us over there.